The Skol chant and sound the Yeller horn. Please welcome the 31st Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard, Major General John Jensen.
Well, hello, this is John Randall, Minnesota Vikings legend, and it is my pleasure to say, Minnesota Vikings fans uncensored, are you ready? Keith, get your people up. Let's go. Skol, 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 baby. Let's go.
What up, fellers?
What's going
on? Did it
on?
work? First and foremost.
Yeah, everyone's on. Let's go, Cody. Oh, shit. Wait a minute.
All right.
Can't be the only Cody. I'm not the only Cody.
You didn't notice another
God.
Cody inside the Discord?
No.
Skol.
Skol. Skol.
Skol.
Skol.
So, what's the score, Cody?
It is. Wolves are down by 20.
Oh, God. Minnesota Vikings or Minnesota sports teams, am I right? Oh, David. God, David's holding the knife to it.
If Wolves don't win, this guy's going down, Lucy. Going down.
We just the biggest choke artist.
So, what's his name from Miami? He got his new contract, right?
Yeah, Jalen Waddle.
Yeah. What was his? Mike Brady made it. Look at that. I knew if I didn't just blindly accept it, he'd at least check in. You are now free to move about the cabin.
Yeah, his AAV is at 28.17 mil. Then there's another guy that signed to
Nico Collins.
Nico to me makes more sense than what Jalen Waddle's contract makes. Jalen Waddle's second fiddle. It's like giving Jordan Addison 28 or that big, which might happen because contracts are going through the roof. So by the time year 3-4 comes around, hey, we're probably looking at paying Jordan Addison over that 28 mil, 30 to 32. The way these contracts are going up. It's just how the NFL is. It's how it's going right now. It's a passing league. You're going to pay for a passing league.
Yeah, about that. I mean, I get it that the market's exploding for wide receivers right now, but I don't necessarily think that we have to participate. I mean, just saying.
I think we got to look at percentages as opposed to the actual dollar amount sometimes, because those dollar amounts just get scary. And look, those percentages are still big. I'm not saying they're not, but man, those dollar amounts scare the shit out of you when you look at them. But just be aware, the league went up 13% last year. It's looking like it's going to go up maybe more next year again. And they're counting that into their numbers. So that's 20.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. So what's a safe guesstimate on JJ? 37 million a year now at this point?
No, I think he's going to be the highest paid. He's going to get around that. What was Bosa?
Yeah, but I mean, you think right around 37?
I say he's probably going to make around 35 still. He's going to make more than Bosa's at.
What was the cap? What was the cap last year? Like 220?
250, I think. 240 something. 255. 255, I think it was.
Okay.
And you're also going to be looking at maybe what's going on is they're looking at how high the salary, like David was saying, how high the salary cap was going up. and the percentage is not where he's might be over a couple percents on that, over what they want in that percentage of that contract to be off of the salary cap. And I think that might be the hang up. Or it could be, CeeDee Lamb. They're saying CeeDee Lamb's waiting on JJ and JJ's waiting on CeeDee Lamb.
If the number
so just at where the cap, what is that his percentage right there?
if he gets paid $40 million, that would be his percentage, 15. Yeah. So it's like 14, 13, 7, something like that at 37.
Y'all remember a couple of years ago when we were talking about how a team couldn't win a Super Bowl with a quarterback making over 13%? Yep. Mahomes did break that, but QB making over 13% can't win a Super Bowl. Wow, a wide receiver doing it.
I thought that was a dumb take anyways. You're paying your quarterback, if he's elite, as much as you can. And I
get it, but it was a simple fact of the matter that no team had won a Super Bowl with their quarterback making more. So I guess what they were trying to say is, all right, you get your quarterback on his rookie deal, you build a team around him, and you win a Super Bowl, and then he gets paid, and you don't get to win another one.
Okay, so if the cap goes up another 13% in 2025, he'll go from 15 to 14%. Mm-hmm. I really think you got to look at it at these numbers. I don't think, and to your point, Fish, I think you're spot on. I don't think that 14 is a good number. I ain't saying that works. I am just saying that that's where the numbers go. And if it goes up another 10% the following year, he'll be at 12 or 13%. And I think that's how these guys actually look at it. I think that's how they have to look at it. They have to project what these caps are going to be as time goes on.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't defending it, guys, by the way. I know no one really wants it. No,
we're just talking, what's the word, pragmatically about it or practically about it?
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Yep.
Jonathan Conyer said, anything to get me away from this Wolves game. We appreciate you, Jonathan, more than you know. But, hey, for those of you who did check us out right now, appreciate you. I know that, you could be watching the Wolves get choked out in Game 4, but you decided to come watch us trip all over our steps.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Keith's doing Keith things, trying to get all kinds of stuff done. And I want to touch on something, and I'm going to try to do this as tactfully and tastefully as I can. I love me some Everson Griffin, and I wish nothing but the best for the man. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Prayers, man. Prayers for the dude. I hope he's okay.
Yeah. I can. There are certain jokes that I could say, but the reality in my heart is I love E. I wanted him when he came back. I wanted him to succeed so bad, not just for the team, but just because. I don't know, man. I like me a little crazy too, I guess.
Yeah.
We're so good at drafting second and third round and late round edge rushers, defense ends. I hope Dallas Turner is that freak when we talk about it.
I was about to say, do you mean he's going to suck? What up? He who greets with smoke.
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, buddy? Welcome back, Keith.
Ball game.
Oh, we got Keith.
Fuck that. I don't want that.
Oh, look at that fucking nose.
That's much better.
Hey.
Well, I can't wait till I get back on a laptop to do these controls.
Hey, I like how we've been friends for 20 plus years, and we're just a bunch
of
look at us
football, baby.
Bunch of drunk guys who've known each other for 20 plus years.
Cheers, you two.
Part of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I was just happy he thought we had the type of chemistry to look like we've known each other for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Right. So that means we're 98 days away from our 21st season together, fellas.
Yeah.
I know people don't get what we're talking about, and we're not even going to explain it. It's fine. We'll move on. But yes, we are 98 days away from the season opener, which is going to be the Ravens and Chiefs this year, which, hey, as a football fan, I'm excited for that game.
Hell yeah, I'll watch that.
I'd watch a Thursday night game right now, to be honest.
especially in bed.
What's wrong with that? I'm telling y'all disrespecting Thursday night games.
You know what, Jack? I'm actually with you, to be honest. It was a thing to say. I enjoy a Thursday game. I don't care if it's the two worst teams. It's football, man. I think there was one really, really bad game this year that was like god awful. I think it was
Denver.
No, that was 2 years ago. It was the Broncos,
Colts and
the Broncos and the Colts.
Terrible.
Yeah, I think
Russell
I'd
Wilson
watch-
against
I'd
Matt
watch the game
Ryan.
in England right now.
I think the Thursday night
You're
games.
gonna watch one.
I think the Thursday night games have stepped their game up. If you kind of think about it, like now the Monday night games are kind of like oof. Because who do we play Monday night, or was that Sunday night? One of the two nights, like the primetime nights, it's switching over to Thursday, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, because now not every team is guaranteed a Thursday game, and some teams get multiple. Before it was one team. I mean, everybody gets one, and everybody gets one, and it's not that anymore. So I think they have tried to make it a little more competitive on Thursdays.
And I'd argue with Leonard that last year's Thursday games were better than this year's primetime games on Sunday and Monday.
Some of them were.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Amazon or whatever put out like $2 billion for those Thursday games?
Yeah,
They better have a better product.
But it's kind of hard to determine which game is going to be good before the season starts.
Like,
it's hard to flex somebody into a Thursday game. That's kind of messed up. But they do have the ability to do it. They have the ability to do it, but it's kind of messed up.
I heard Rinaldi was at a pretty good Thursday game last year, or primetime game last year.
That was a Sunday game, babe. It was a Sunday at 4.
Sunday at 4?
Yeah, it was a Sunday at 1, Las Vegas.
Wow, that game felt like it went to midnight.
Yeah, that was a primetime game.
Talking about the Raider game, of course.
Until Nick Mullins stepped in, Shaq. Nick Mullins.
Okay, and that game is exactly what I'm talking about. Like I don't remember who I was arguing with about saying, oh, it's going to be just a defensive game and boring. Like defensive games aren't boring. Bad offense is boring. That game was bad offense. That was boring.
Horrible. I was there.
Like,
I knew.
Like I didn't do it, but it was the first time where I was like, you know what? Here, babe, take the remote because I don't even need to watch this.
Kevin Rosner says we started on time.
What's going to be
some of us did
because the Raiders were supposed to score more than us.
Sorry, Shaq, what was that?
I said the Raiders was close to scoring more than us.
They were close. They were within 3.
And our defense actually came up and got the turnovers. So
they did.
To them.
What's going to be full circle about that Raiders game is Nick Mullins is going to get cut and he's going to be the backup for the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's not that far fetched, my man. I like that.
Or we end up trading Sam Darnold before the season for like a 3rd rounder and keep Mullins.
Start Mullins.
You know, so somebody goes down like Teddy Bridgewater, needs a quarterback, desperate. I'm just saying. JJ's looking good. Now all of a sudden, I just found $10 more million against Jefferson.
I like
on our free time, we're gonna go over the Nick Mullins games. Every game he played for the Vikings.
Oh, let's do it.
And that will be tonight's show. Every game, every pass, we'll talk about his footwork, the way he threw the ball, where the defender was at, everything. All Nick Mullins tonight only.
Let's do it.
I'm down.
Hey,
No.
so
But we're 98 days away from the start. I wanted to do something fun and look at players who wore 98 for the Vikings and like who was your favorite to wear 98. But when I did it, there's really not much to pick from. You got DJ Wanham, you got Linval Joseph, LaTroy Guion, Darian Scott, Fred Robbins. Like those are the only names that I recognized. So if anybody has a different one that I'm missing, you can throw it up in the comments. But I'm gonna go ahead and assume that all of our favorites was Linval. Does anybody disagree with that?
Yeah.
It's not LaTroy Guion.
Oh.
That guy was a stud.
Yeah, on Green Bay.
I remember we got to 7th, 6th round with one of those trade back picks.
Yeah, no, I'm still gonna go with Linval.
Mm-hmm. I love Linval,
but good points.
I love Linval so much because he put those fucking goggle-looking sunglasses on the sideline every single time he got off the field.
Is there a reason why? Did they ever say why he chose those goggles? Like
maybe because Mike Zimmer wore eye protection. I don't know.
It was Unity.
It was so bright.
And I think he did.
I like when you wore the oxygen mask after the touchdown against the Eagles.
Sick. That was
Yeah.
I think he ended up getting that tattooed on himself.
I think that's
He
in the
did?
record book.
I think so. Maybe I'm thinking of a
wasn't
fan,
Kevin
but I'm pretty
Williams
sure he did it
98?
himself.
Nah, Kevin Williams was like 97, I think.
Yeah,
93, I think.
93.
93. No, that was
No, he was 90. He was 94. What? No, he was 93.
Right.
And
John Randall was 93.
Randall's 93.
Yeah, Randall's
Fake ass
93.
Vikings fans.
Kevin Williams is underrated, man.
I don't know. They're all agreeing with me that he was 93. So
He was 93.
Yeah.
94
He
was
was
Pat
93.
Williams.
Yeah, I remember
Pat.
94.
Kevin Williams.
Linval Joseph is still available, by the way, guys. If anybody's still interested in an interior defensive lineman.
No, not me.
No.
No.
I think he's got
Fish is going with the flow now. Fish is like, I don't care about the line. I don't care about the big guys. You know what? We should probably give JJ $40 million just to be sure.
Let everybody run for 150 yards on us a game.
Flim flam it.
I just think that's Brian Flores' defense. They're just there to engage in one guy block, and the linebackers the one that are pushing the pressure.
Think about it this
unfortunately,
way.
we've got a bunch of pushovers that can't engage the blocks.
They just have to
Think about it.
They just have to stand.
Think about it
Roy's-
this way. If they run on us, their passing number's going to be down. So we kind of be good at stopping the pass because we can't stop the run.
Hey, Leonard, don't joke, man. He might surprise us. All he's got to do is be better than Dean Lowry to be, an upgrade. So that's a positive.
Did you look at his
Oh, man.
size? The dude is like 6'6", 290 something. And he
Yeah,
moves-
6'6", 295. That's thin as a beanpole.
Yeah, he's tiny.
Man, Fish had me so hyped for Dean Lowry with them stats, and now I'm like, I don't remember Dean Lowry playing the snap for us.
Well,
That player
everybody was
comp- that
telling
player
us,
comp
oh,
can
he was
hurt
a
you.
Viking killer. He was a Viking killer. This is awesome. I'm like, I don't remember the guy killing us.
I don't
How about seeing Dallas Turner with his hands in the dirt?
I like it.
I mean, you got Van Ginkel and you got Greenard already on the stand-up. Like,
I want to see him all on the field. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in how they're gonna work all that because they got options now. Flores can play a little bit, and Metellus doesn't have to play 13 positions on defense, even though there's only 11.
I want to see Turner play hybrid safety.
It's possible, but
And this
I'll
defense,
wait
he might fish because we have 3 of them out there,
Yeah.
and he could probably play it better than Scene.
I am trying to not get totally sucked in by JJ and Turner right now. I'm trying to, but I'm going to fail.
Well,
Yeah,
so
Ginkel-
far, reports are good. So, there's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to not get sucked in, but I'm going to fail.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm all in. I'm happy about it. Like, this is the happiest I've been after a draft in a long time. I mean, I was pretty happy after the Justin Jefferson one, but getting 2 studs, like, I don't know. I'm pretty, and those are, like, to me, 2 of the most important positions in football. So if they actually hit, and these guys are Vikings for the next 10 years, it might end up being the greatest first round in our history.
100%.
And if JJ can't live up to that after his rookie contract, we just start over. So
Ain't the end of the world.
That's too long
I don't
to
like
wait.
when you say that, and that's like the 3rd week in a row you've said that.
I know,
Yeah,
but
3
it's
years.
that's
It's like, hey, we just start out. No,
I know.
I don't even want to think of that as a possibility right now. Like,
Cody doesn't have a lot of faith in JJ, I don't think, man.
I
Not-
do have a lot of faith in McCarthy. I
Do you?
do.
His
Kevin,
head might
watch
be
your mouth.
watching right now,
I don't
Cody.
want him to start right away.
Right.
I don't want him to start right away. I want him after the bye week, then let him play.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I want him being paired up with Jefferson. And if it don't work out with Jefferson, then fuck it, blow it all up and start over.
Flim flam it.
Sorry, yeah,
or we could just skip all that and not have. Never mind.
the doll. Lucy, I got your doll. It's right. It's somewhere back behind me.
He even got the point right for the first time.
I don't know if Lucy saw mine, so I'm going to do it again.
Look at the see. This is the hating right here. 2 studs? You're talking about Turner and Kyrie? A blatant disrespect for our quarterback of the future. I can't believe it. Sometimes it be your own people.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Kyrie Jackson, he could be a sleeper pick of the draft.
Hey, I didn't say that he can't be. I didn't say that he can't be, but that was obviously a shot at JJ McCarthy right there. That's all I'm pointing out. I'm high on Kyrie. I think we all like Kyrie, and like we thought maybe he'd be like a 3rd rounder or something. So we scored in the 4th round. And I like when he was on the phone with KOC and Kwesi and tell him, you guys got the best cornerback in the draft. Like, he has that confidence. Cornerback needs that confidence, that swag, I think.
I do too.
I'm only happy
He's going to get burnt for a 90-yard touchdown.
He will.
And then I'm gonna cuss him out and ask, why the hell did we draft this guy?
Yep.
It happens.
As long as he's taller than 5'10", I'm awesome. I'm with it.
It happens.
Let's go. Happy.
You and that Duke Shelley hate need to stop.
Like, do we even remember those 2 corners who's guarding Justin Jefferson his first touchdown?
No.
Like,
No, but they're famous. They're unknown famous.
Yeah, they've been immortalized.
They're in the picture, and he's all.
They've been posterized. Yeah.
I've seen models of the play, and they're there on the sideline.
Is that the best first rookie touchdown ever in the history of NFL? That was a pretty fucking great flopping.
I'm gonna say no
man.
because I gotta feel there's a better one, but that might have been the swaggiest one.
It was definitely
Right.
the swaggiest
That
one.
was the cold.
It was like a 60-yard touchdown too, wasn't it?
and this is
I mean, I like Moss's, even though Moss is like a bobble in the back of the end zone. It was still a bomb where he burned the guy. Like that was maybe just more exciting. Like, I guess JJ's was probably cooler than that, but I don't know if I could say it was the best ever in the NFL. I mean, Peterson's was pretty good too. A little swing pass against the Falcons, took off for like 60 yards. So we've had some luck in that department.
We knew what Peterson was going to be coming in the NFL. When we got Jefferson, we're like, what is this guy going to be? A slot receiver?
Slot guy.
I think even Moss, to a degree, we were kind of like that because all these teams are passing on him, and yes, we know he's good, and we were excited about having Moss. Like, oh my god, I can't believe he fell to us. But I don't think we expected what we got.
Yeah.
So that first game, we had the 2
Nobody
touchdowns, and like they couldn't guard him. I was like, oh my gosh, what the hell
I'll
is
be
this?
honest, the Justin Jefferson draft, my wide receiver 1 was CD Lamb.
No, it wasn't. It was Henry Ruggs. Don't lie.
Yeah, that's who I wanted.
That's
I
fair.
wanted Ruggs.
He's gone.
Henry Ruggs.
That's fair because CeeDee Lamb was probably the best one coming out. So I mean, I wouldn't fault you for that. And like we've talked about this before amongst us, that I think if we traded Justin Jefferson for CeeDee Lamb, we don't get better or worse, and the Cowboys don't get better or worse. I do think that Justin Jefferson is better than CeeDee, but not enough to make a big old difference. So don't fault you for having CeeDee number 1.
I think we get worse because of CD's route running. I think he's a straight 9 and crosser guy. I don't think he is do anything underneath that route tree from the 9 and the crosser. That's just me though. Like,
well, speaking of wide receivers, we brought back a familiar face in Dalton Risner.
What a segue.
You got to make it work, Fish.
I mean, that is seamless, sir.
Seamless? Like the team's going to be?
Yeah.
So Risner came back on a 1-year deal. We don't know the contract unless it came out in the last hour when I wasn't paying attention to anything. But as far as we know, he got some money, and then it's very incentive laden. I want to see what it's like because I think he was guaranteed at least enough money to say he's probably coming in as a starter. Would you agree with that, or do you think he's being brought in here to compete with either Brandel or Ingram?
I think he's here to compete with both Brandel and Ingram. I think we're gonna look at because we've seen what the worst with Ingram was. It's spotty. He has more worse than he has good. And with Brandel at least has more good than he was with worse. Besides the game he went up against Micah Parsons, but even Darrisaw said, "No, I'm out against Micah Parsons." So I'm more thinking that I think it's going to be Ingram who's going to be facing competition from Brandel and from Brandel than it is from or Brandel facing competition from Risner.
Hey, let me tell you something. I think Risner's demonstrated a little bit of ego in this offseason. Isn't he on record as saying, after the way I played, I'm not signed yet? Didn't he say that?
I think you're embellishing a little bit there.
But I
actually reread that tweet earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically just said, like, he's played for 4 years, he's done everything right, and he's not asking for the bag. He's just asking to be paid like a starting guard.
So bang, right there. I think that he got paid that starter money. So he's coming in thinking, okay, I'm the starter. It doesn't matter who he's coming in to be the starter. He's not coming in to compete. He's coming in to lead the way. Right guard or left guard. What's that, David?
I think he thinks that. I don't think that's the case.
What David said. I think
he thinks that. I don't think that's the case. I mean, look, as a fan, I'm happy he's here. He's not my favorite guy, but I think we needed that. We needed another stabilizing force that can come in and play if we need him to come in and play, whether that's a starter or a swing guy or a right tackle or a left tackle. I can tell you this for sure. If you look at Ingram's numbers, PFF, sorry, I know we all fucking hate PFF. If you look at their numbers, Ingram is a better player, believe it or not, PFF wise, than Risner is. He's a better run blocker, and he's as good a pass blocker. Just about. They're right in the same bracket. They're within 4 or 5 spots away from each other out of the top guards. So I don't see him challenging strictly, to your guys' point, Ingram. But I do think that maybe there's a shot that Brandel could. The problem with Brandel is that he was a former guard. I'm sorry, a former tackle. Last year was the first time he actually played guard. He's got a tackle body. The guy's 6'6", 6'7". So he's actually more of an Ezra Cleveland than he is an Ingram or a Risner. So I think that they have intent on playing him as the starting left guard, and Risner's going to challenge him. And if he wins, he wins. And if he don't, he don't. And we got a great swing guard on both sides. That's my take on it. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it.
I like how Fish said starter money. What was the initial contract at? 5?
They got last year?
$4 million.
Yeah, but it was like half a year.
Yeah, it was $4 million. And
11 games.
Great.
So let's say $8 million is starter money, right? 8. That's starting guard money in the NFL.
It is.
So now you can see there's contracts coming down.
Only like the top 8 guards, I think, make 10 or more.
Right. I would agree with that.
There's a couple that make like 20. There's like 3 of them that make like 20. So there are some ballers there. But like when you get down to like the 10, the 15th highest paid, it's under 10 million.
Yeah, we put that up. We put that stat up.
And we can see where contracts are going now.
You have to get one of those top 5 guards.
But you can see
What do you say it louder, Shaq.
It'd be nice.
If we got cap space next year, we can go get one of those top guards and stop bitching about the offensive line.
Yep.
Stop being cheap. We got a rookie.
Oh, we're shopping next year. We're shopping next year. I think
we're not bargaining been shopping next year. That's for sure.
Okay, next week we're going to talk about 2025 free agents, who the Vikings should go after before the season even starts.
We better. Time to start talking about it.
Get a jump on it.
But isn't that crazy that starting guards are at like 10 million or 8 million a year? Like you can see the contracts are shifting. Like quarterbacks and wide receivers are getting their money, and everybody else is kind of lowering. Even look at the edge rushers out there. Like 20 million is the starter level, then it goes to just another 10. You look at wide receiver, Jalen Waddle is just a starter, and he's at 30, almost 30.
He's a 2.
Yeah, he's a 2.
But remember, like we started off the conversation tonight with, it's percentages. We got to stop talking dollars because it really throws it off too far, man.
Yeah.
If you're talking 30 million for anybody, all we think of is Kirk Cousins 3 years ago. There's no correlation to that anymore. It's got to be percentages.
Was there anybody that was upset that they brought him back? Was anybody upset that they brought him back? Like, oh, why?
No.
You look at our depth chart, we really don't have that much depth at guard. Like
we didn't have depth at guard last year either.
Besides Quisenberry, I mean, looking at the
Feeney.
roster right now, we
Feeney.
had Blake Brandel, Henry Bird. I haven't even heard of Henry Bird. Tyrese Robinson.
Who?
And I still say Brandel should have been our swing tackle. I mean, he was.
I don't know. They must have
swing
liked him as a guard because I mean they paid him pretty well for a backup guard. Because like what we say,
Well, you
$8
know
million
what?
was like
Maybe
$8
they
million
need
a
to
starting guard.
listen to me on this one.
What was our depth?
Oh, I thought you were
last-
gonna actually say something after that. Okay.
What was our depth last year on the O line? We had 2 tackle. We had
Was
four
it Chris
tackles,
Jones?
guards, 4 tackles and 3 guards last year.
Yeah, it's usually 10 or
That
11.
was.
It's usually
Okay,
10 or 11.
I don't think we were at 10 and 11. I think we were at 4 tackles and 3 guards and 1 center. We were at like 8.
Nah, it was more than that. I could bring it up, but then I have to close this down. So
Leonard, that comment belongs in the Hall of Fame.
What was it? I missed it.
Segue, we need to talk about the Vikes pick. They posted wishing Feeney a happy birthday with the mullet.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
I
the
forgot
mullet.
about Ian Feeney. So it's
that
kinda
works
like-
better, Fish, if we were prepared for that and had the picture.
I was just reading the guy's comment, Key.
Okay, but there's been like 50 comments, and that's the one you read?
Yes. Key.
Okay. I'm gonna listen to you, like you said. Has anybody else noticed that this live with StreamYard has gotten bigger on the
Yeah,
screen?
it did. Way bigger.
And there's another one in the bottom corner. It's like I'm looking like a NASCAR car.
It's called marketing. I didn't know I left that in.
It's called Hurry Up and Buy.
Yeah. It's just stretching further and further. Pretty soon it's going to be over in Cody Square.
I just noticed that's like all over. It's like covering my Viking hat, covering my Viking flag. I see you, StreamYard. I see you. So overall, you guys are happy that we signed him and think it might be more competition than being guaranteed a starting spot. Do you guys have any concerns that like it didn't seem like he was getting interest from any other team?
No. I think that's who he is. I think
It concerns me a little bit because he was terrible at run blocking, wasn't even great at pass blocking, and wasn't asking to break the bank, but still nobody wanted to touch him.
It could be like contract situation. Like teams feel like he's not worth the contract he wanted, and then like he's like, well, I only play for certain teams for this amount of money. I guess the Vikings was one of them.
There's got to be more to it than that. The guy's got a problem somewhere, somehow. He got arrested for a DWI with a male prostitute. Something happened. I'm not sure what.
He was on the Diddy tapes.
Yeah, something's wrong, man. Something
If you
happened.
try to tell me his wife is a transition, I'm not going to believe you for nothing.
It might be.
No, but his wife's annoying as hell, and that's a reason enough for me to stay away, probably.
Skol, Peterson.
Speaking of male prostitutes, Peterson.
Any port in storm, right, Rinaldi?
Yeah.
We had some other news come out from Will Raggets. He gave us an update on TJ Hockenson. We've all been kind of speculating. He came out and said it's confirmed that he's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks, which I think that's best case scenario. And someone said that timeline actually matches up exactly with Adrian Peterson because he had the surgery 4 weeks after Adrian Peterson did. So, like, I guess if everything went well, then yeah, that makes sense. So we missed like
2,000 yards.
We missed 4 or 5 games.
When's the bye?
Back.
That's it.
When's the
Cody, you're hitting it on the head, brother. That's what.
Oh boy, JJ McCarthy, TJ Hockenson against the Lions. Let's go.
And we go full strength, baby. Let's go.
I'm just going to say it. TJ Hockenson going to run for 2,000 yards this year.
Yards after the catch?
He didn't run for 2 yards after the catch. That boy goes down quick.
So I thought that was some good news because, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I really felt like he was going to sell for the whole season. But if he's ready after 4 to 6 weeks, it's really not going to matter where we're at with our record. Like even if we were 0-6, like he's gonna play. So that's some good news.
Does he get
I was kind of looking forward to seeing him rake leaves.
Isn't his contract?
He still might, Fish. It's a lot of money for those first 6 weeks. He still might have to do something.
Isn't TJ's contract incentive laden though? We were talking about it last year when he signed.
You can take it off.
I feel like no.
Yeah,
I thought it was because we were like, oh, we got him for like 15 or something.
Yeah, we might have said like, oh, he got 60 million, but only 58's guaranteed.
I don't know.
Let's see. I could probably pull it up.
Yeah, I'd pull it up. See what his incentives are.
I didn't think they were that big. I thought they were a legit contract. Like the fourth year, there's an out, but that's about it.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how every contract is.
Yeah.
Well, I remember we were like kind of mad at first. We are like, holy crap, he got that big contract, and then we saw the
40 of the 66 is guaranteed, so there's not too much incentive in there if there's any incentive. Like that's the fourth year.
Right.
So yeah, so he better get his ass back out there and play some football because we're paying him to do that.
Don't rush.
And maybe this is why the Wilps don't want to guarantee money to skilled players.
Don't rush it. Let him get back healthy. We need him.
TJ in that cafeteria serving the lunch up to the rookies.
We're gonna need him when McCarthy steps on the field in Detroit or in Minnesota.
Skol, Dakota.
Skol.
So let's say best case scenario, he comes back the week after the bye, that Lions game. How long do you actually think it's going to take him to like make an impact? Like, is he going to be able to play right away? Do you think, or is it going to take some time?
Right away.
Right away.
I think he's going to be healthy. I think he's going to be healthy.
Right away.
I think he's going to be healthy during that fourth week. What they're saying, then he has 3 more weeks to get established in the offense, and he's going to be in pads ready to go.
That's true. It's almost like these guys don't need preseason. You know what I mean? Like they can just step in and play.
Yeah.
And then he fumbles on his first reception, and we revisit that statement.
He's not going to fumble it. He's going to drop the ball in the end zone for the game-winning score. Let's get it right.
Let's damn it, doll fight, Rinaldi.
What do you guys think about the rumor that the Vikings wanted Nabers? Let's just talk about it. We got to talk about it. I know there's some people who do believe it and some people who think it's absolute horseshit. Where do you guys fall on that spectrum?
On what?
The Vikings' interest in Nabers in the draft and attempted to trade up and get him.
Absolutely.
This came from Mike Florio, who said, who admitted himself there was a rumor he heard and he didn't have enough evidence to actually post an article about it, so he didn't. But then Charlie Walters came out and doubled down and made an article about it, and that's what brought this thing back to life.
Absolute horseshit. I mean, you're trying to gain 4 years of wide receiver control, or 5 years of wide receiver control, and you're trading up, and you're giving your JJ and the first. That makes zero sense to me.
It makes no sense.
Zero.
I agree.
Okay, so
was there a phone call?
I saw what you saw, Cody, about the possibility of trading him. I'm not going to link the two that they necessarily, like if they were going to go for Nabers, that they were going to trade JJ. I didn't see JJ being a part of that trade. I saw like maybe they were going to try to trade up and get Nabers, and then maybe move Jefferson as a separate deal if they were going to move him. I don't think they were going to use him to move up. Because that would be dumb. That's like half a first round pick.
And I don't think maybe that might have been true, but then the Giants are probably looking at it like, why am I even accepting this trade?
I like how everybody's saying the same exact thing that they all said about Florio when he came out with the Kirk to Atlanta as a done deal. They're all saying the same exact things.
Well, I don't know that I think it's true, but I will say that if it does come out that it was true, I'm going to say that that's JJ's playing hardball and Kwesi was looking for an out. I just got a feeling that there's a gap between what Kwesi wants to pay him or some sort of verbiage in the contract that JJ wants and Kwesi doesn't want to give it up. And that's the only reason I could think of why he would want to do that.
Think maybe with a leverage move, like, okay, well, we got our contingency plan if we can't work this out.
Or
we have the best 3 wide receivers in the game. Either way.
I think
That's
Florio's
how I was thinking. But the problem would be with having the 3 best wide receivers is, I guess we'll be rocking with Sam Darnold, and we won't have Dallas Turner.
What if you kept 23? What if they used next year's first?
I don't think that was part of it. That would have been.
I don't think we actually heard a legit offer. So I'm just saying, what if it was 11 and next year's first? We still keep 23. So maybe a quarterback is still in play, because if we're not taking a quarterback, I mean, it might not be fucking Bo Nix, but a quarterback would still be in play, or Spencer Rattler or something, or Dallas Turner, or still Dallas Turner.
More importantly, who's wide receiver 2 and who's wide receiver 3 in this situation?
We figure that out in camp.
It would probably be
now.
Because preseason is for evaluating those kind of players.
I don't think all this is fun, and it's kind of like when you're in high school and you're like, gee, should I ask the prom queen to the prom, or the homecoming queen to the prom? And like your friend goes, yeah, man, go for it. But it's me, who doesn't get the prom queen ever. I don't believe that. I think that they may have had conversations about it, but it's completely like just speculation bullshit. They may have like just in random mentioned it, may have even been on the phone with the 5th pick, and they said, hey, how about we look at this? But there is no way that got close. That did not get close.
It just made me think of a few years ago where it was, the Vikings called up and were questioning, but they were probably offering like a 2nd and a 7th and got laughed off the phone,
Exactly.
I think the biggest thing what was missing from Florio's conversation was if Drake May fell to 5.
Right.
I think that's when that could have happened, because the Giants were probably looking for a quarterback and Drake May was probably the guy. And that's when, okay, how am I going to lift Drake May away from the New York Giants? I'm going to give them Justin Jefferson in a first. That's how
I'm going to say that I believe that whether they were serious about it or not, that it was mentioned inside of their draft room, and somebody in that draft room leaked that. That's I understand that. And whether they were really serious about it or not, you saw the video of them talking to each other. It was like 2 guys, just friends, talking about bullshit. Oh, should we do this? We go get this guy. Like they're talking about their fantasy team. So it definitely could have got mentioned and leaked out by somebody in the room, and it could have been like, oh yeah, let's say we're going up for Nabers, and maybe we can get number 5 cheaper because they don't think we're going for a quarterback. Then boom, take the quarterback. So there could have been a reason for causing that smoke screen, or maybe we were thought we could have the best 3 deep ever, and it won't matter who the quarterback is.
Could be me.
It might matter a little bit.
Call the Jets.
So you guys aren't buying it, or at least you don't think there's any seriousness to it.
No, not unless Drake May was involved.
That would have been nice though. JJ, Nabers, and Addison.
I mean, at least
Nick
think about it,
Mullins
right?
slinging that rock. Old Nick Mullins coming in there like the Duke of Earl.
Just got to be a 37-year-old Randall Cunningham. He'd be all right.
He tried. Nick Mullins definitely tried.
He did.
Heart of a lion, arm of a
weasel.
Or from Mango.
But wait, he only played like 3 games. He should have had more preseason. Then he would have been more ready.
Why didn't he play preseason?
He did play preseason. It didn't help, Shaq.
Well, maybe he's just trash.
Nick Mullins is that quarterback on your fucking your Turkey Bowl game. That he's
all right. So moving on, we're not doing it. We talked about Nick Mullins for an hour last week.
That was great too. I loved it.
Yeah, it was awesome. Probably the highlight of this show for the past year and a half. It was awesome. Better than the draft.
No, the highlight was when I said to Kevin Risner about his jersey.
Yes, it was.
It was.
It was great.
It was, but then I probably should have put up a phone number and a picture after.
I thought the highlight was when Fish said, "Shut the fuck up."
So how do you feel about our GM and head coach as of right now.
All right, well, let's do that then. So last year, we all talked about Kwesi and KOC during the offseason. I think we did it at the end of April, and we graded them on a scale of 1 to 10 of where our confidence level is in them. Not like how well they're doing. It's just how are we feeling right now about them in their position. So we're going to do that again, and then I want to put everybody's score against their score last year. And unless these guys went back and dug up their scores, they don't know their scores from last year, but I do. Because I did go dig it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with you, Cody, since you brought it up. Let me know. What's your confidence level in Kwesi and KOC right now? They each get their own score.
I don't think I did a score last year. I think I was in Nashville on a birthday trip. But my last year's score is a 7. This year's score, I'm still at a 7. I think it all relies on their pick with JJ McCarthy. I think if he doesn't do well within that rookie contract, it's out the door.
So you're putting them both at a 7?
Yeah, putting them both at the 7. I like what they're doing. I do like KOC's offense. I like his scheme. I wish he ran the ball a little bit more. That's why he's not a 10 or whatnot. But I think it all relies on them that they came together in this year's draft. It's been getting better after 2022, and they went for their quarterback. I've been arguing it since the year when they didn't have a quarterback. It was Kenny Pickett on board. They finally got their quarterback, and I'm just at a stalemate, just this 7. I think it all relies on JJ McCarthy and what he does.
All right, 7. So that's a little bit safe. Where you at, Rinaldi?
I think I was at a 7 on both of them last year, and I'm not going to deviate too much from that. I will say here's the knocks I've got on each of them. KOC, I don't like his run game. I'm a little nervous about losing B-Flow after this year, but I do think that he's put himself in a position where if they worked in tandem together and actually collaborate like they talk about, that he's going to have a real roster next year, and we'll see just how good KOC actually is. Everything seems to be coming together at the right time. So I give KOC a 7 again, and I'm gonna take Kwesi up a spot, much to everyone's chagrin. I think the fucking guy has done a great job of seeing the future and putting it together on a horizon that comes together at the same spot. And that horizon is 2025, 2026, 2027. So if these things hit, we get another reasonable draft next year. We have the offseason that we think we're going to have. I think this guy's positioned us to be a roster to contend with for a while. And I know dude, you got to be looking at the comments, man. I'm going to bump him up to an 8, and I will keep KOC at a 7. There's my numbers, and there's why.
All right, that's good. You probably didn't bump Kwesi as much as you think you did. You had him at a 7.5 last year.
Okay, it's about right. Give him a half.
But you did bump him. You did bump him, and yes, you did have KOC at a 7, and you're keeping him right there.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Shaq?
So for me, I probably had KOC at an 8 or 7. I'm gonna drop him down to a 6 because when Kirk Cousins got hurt, he didn't adjust the system. He still was running the offense like he had Kirk Cousins playing. And Nick Mullins, Josh Dobbs, and Jaron Hall showed that they're not capable of being a starting quarterback throwing 40 to 50 times. And he kept doing it week after week after week. So I'm kind of lose faith in he can't adjust his offense due to injuries. So I kind of had to drop him back down to a 6 or 7. Hopefully he learns to adjust. And then I have Kwesi at a 8 because he showed that he learned to, if we have holes, he's going to trade up or trade back. He's not just going to sit there and collect picks like Rick Spielman. He shows that he's going to attack and that, no matter what we think or what the Mel Kiper or anybody else think, he's going to go ahead and draft what's best for the team, whether it be trading up, trading back, and getting more picks. So I got a little more faith in Kwesi this year.
So where'd you put Kwesi? You give him a 7?
Oh, I give Kwesi I bump him up to a 7. I bump KOC down to a 6.
All right, so you had Kwesi at a 7 last year, so you're still there, but yeah, you did have KOC at an 8. So you took him down to a 6.
Yeah. I believe
I was
in
I feel like
KOC.
a
I
lot of
really
people.
did.
No, I think a lot of people are with you for the exact reasons you said. It was his decisions with the quarterbacks and a lot of his play calling. So, don't feel bad about what you're saying here. I mean, I think a lot of people actually agree with your analysis. What about you, Fish? Where are you at? I really want to hear this one.
I believe I was pretty low on Kwesi last year, like a 3 or a 4. And I'm a little higher. I'm going to call him a 6 right now. Love what he did in the first round of the draft. It cured a lot of ills for me for what he was able to do. Okay with what he did. I think he's done really well with UDFAs. I think he's done a great job of making a tough decision and clearing up a lot of the dead cap. We're in a decent spot next year. We're not going to be signing any $30 million free agents by any stretch of the imagination. We're not going to get a stud, but we're not bargain basement shopping. We're not getting somebody's third string player to be our starter next year. But I got to say it, and I know y'all are going to be sick of hearing about it, the fact that there is not a resolution on JJ yet, the fact that there is still a risk of something going wrong with that, won't let me boost him any higher. JJ should have been signed last year. He should be signed by now. The closer we get to the season, the more jeopardy we're in with not getting what we need to get from him on a resolution. So I'm at a 6. Now, if he does something, if he gets JJ signed and he continues on the trajectory he's on, that dude's going to be a star in my book. If he can make some way, make it team friendly in some way, a deal with JJ, yeah. Or he trades him and gets a haul, yeah. Then he's going to be a star in my books. Now, as for KOC, Shaq said it right. He wasn't able to adjust his game plan. He actually diminished Josh Dobbs. He went from being a coach that won in the margins and got us 13 very lucky wins in doing so 2 years ago, to not winning in the margins, to doing 2 stupid tush pushes with 2 guys that combined for 250 pounds, not utilizing his personnel properly. You got CJ Ham on your team and you don't have a rushing touchdown for like 12 weeks in the season. I don't know, man. I'm actually pretty low on KOC. I'm going to put him at a 5 now. And he's got some work to do. He's got to actually be the QB whisperer and either get Sam Darnold going right or get JJ McCarthy flowing hot and make something happen.
I like
all this talk about great coaches. We have great coaches if they're coached right. I want to see it.
I like your thing. You said something about spending money in your first about Kwesi, and we haven't seen Kwesi spend money because he hasn't had the money, right? He hasn't really had that big.
That's true.
You know? And I'm kind of waiting for that. Like, you give him a year where he has money in free agency to where he spends, see what he does, and that could push my number up to 7. It's like it's going to pushes your number up because he fixed what Rick Spielman did to this team. He fixed it. Right now, we don't see it. We kind of see it. We don't see it until next year. I like your point there, Fish. I think I'll wait for my grade next year when he has all that money to see what he's going to do. That's a good point, Fish.
Was a good point, but you got to give a grade, bro. Come on, what's his grade?
He did.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it.
I said Kwesi's a 6 and KOC's fallen to a 5.
Got it.
Wait. Last year you had Kwesi at a 5, so you bumped him up to a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is the big one right here. Last year you were a confidence level of 8 with KOC. You've dropped that down to a 5.
Wow.
He screwed up last year. A lot.
Yeah, that's fair, but I mean that's a big drop.
All right,
Me
Pete.
personally, I had Kwesi at a 7.5 last year. I got him up to an 8. I like what he did in the draft. I like the offseason. I could probably get up to an 8.5, but I can't for the same reasons that Fish gave. Like, if we are going to sign Justin Jefferson, then that's the directive, and that's what we're going to do. It should have been done last offseason. And I don't agree with what Tommy's saying in the chat right now. He's saying that JJ wasn't going to sign last year no matter what. He wanted to wait to see what the bag would be this year. And I don't believe that, because if that was the case, he wouldn't have missed OTAs last year. He was there every other year. He missed last year because he wanted to get the contract done, and it didn't get done. So I think that was kind of a failure on Kwesi's part and not handling it, because JJ probably got at least $3 to $5 million more expensive this season. So that's a ball drop. But I'm not going to totally kill him for that. I'm taking a half a point away, because we also don't know what the directive is from the owners. Maybe they're like, okay, here's your parameters, make this work. You know, you can do whatever you want, but it's got to be within these parameters. So we don't know that. So I'm not going to punish him too hard on it. But yeah, I do think it should have been taken care of. KOC, last year I had him at a 7. I'm knocking him down to a 6.5. And it's mostly the reasons that Shaq and Fish have said. I'm just not being as harsh as Fish was on it. But there's a lot of times when I was watching the games and I really questioned the play calling and the decisions of when to go for it, when not to go for it, what they're doing on third down or third and long, third and short. I didn't agree with it, and that doesn't mean I'm right, but I'm the one giving the score, so I had to knock them down from a 7 to a 6.5. I'm still confident in them, and that brings me up to my next question is, where do you guys think they're at as far as getting a contract extension? Because they both signed 4-year deals together. They're going into their 3rd year right now. I don't see them going into a 4th year without something done with their contracts. Do you think that one of them has earned an extension over the other? Have they both earned an extension, or neither has quite earned an extension yet? Where you at with that, Ronaldo?
I think they should get it done as soon as they can. I think they should just get it off the table. There's no talk about it. Give them 3 years right now. That's the window we got with JJ. That's the window that we should have once we sign Jay Jettas, right? We're going to have a 3 or 4 year window. Let's just put it out there till 2028. Let everybody ride it out together. Let this wave just come through. And if they frickin' do a good job, if they do a good job, then you re-sign the whole thing again and bring it back. But I don't know that that's going to be possible with the way numbers are. But I say sooner the better, before off season this year, before the training camp. Everybody gets signed.
The hell is going on over there?
What's up, Pete?
That's the Cali shit right there.
On this thing now. Oh,
I think he got hit with an earthquake.
Something happened.
Either that or he got sprayed by the neighbor's hose.
yeah.
So here's my thoughts. I know the Wolves are very patient owners, but they just got burned in a situation where they gave Spielman and Zimmer big extensions and then fired them both the following year. So, I mean, they could be in a little bit of wait and see mode. All right, we got this. What are we going to do with it? 13-4. I mean, if they were going to extend them, I would have thought it'd have been after a 13-4 season. All right, y'all are doing something. Let's go. But maybe last year might have made them go, hold on. Let's just see how y'all handle this. And also, he is the face of the franchise. Maybe the Wilfs are saying, we'd like to see you sign Justin Jefferson first before we extend you, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
I like that, Fish. I also like Linda's comment. She said they'll get extended. JJ McCarthy bought them time. I like that to a point. All right. I only like this to a point is I think KOC came out with progressions. They're waiting for if he hits hurdles. JJ McCarthy hits these hurdles, right? If JJ McCarthy doesn't hit these hurdles, right, they're done. in my opinion. I think they're going to wait this year out to see where JJ McCarthy is for the 2025 season. And then at some point during the 2025 season, if JJ McCarthy hit those hurdles, then they'll get extended. Now, if he hits his hurdle, let's say week 1 of the season, yes. All right. And he plays 2 to 3 games, as a rookie, it doesn't take much as a rookie, then yes, they get extended. But I think it all relies on JJ McCarthy's hurdles that he has to clear to whether or not they get extended.
What if he starts week 1 this year?
In year 1? Do you think all the hurdles need to be cleared in year 1 is what you're saying?
To start in 2025? Yes, he's going to need to start in 2025.
Okay, so if JJ McCarthy isn't starting in 2025, then they're fired.
They're done.
What if he starts in 2024 and he has a Troy Aikman rookie season?
As long as he played a decent, their evaluations on that court, because the quarterback is the face of the whole of any franchise. If your quarterback fails, you're done. I mean, look at the Jets with Sam Darnold. They saw him for 2 years, like, you're done. That was a bad pick.
I don't know. I agree more with Linda, and I wanted to say that before Cody Wynn took it, but I agree that they're going to get the JJ McCarthy contract. Like, they're going to get the life of that contract. So I won't be surprised if they get extended in this offseason, and I'd be okay with it because we're going into year 3. We've gone through 2 years of them making moves and trying to build this thing up. What are we going to do? Start over and have someone else get rid of everything and try to build up everything again? No, I think we're on a good trajectory. So I'm going to go ahead and probably extend them right now. I'm not saying I'm going to give them 5-year deals, but I could throw another 2 years on that. And by the end of that, we're going to know what JJ McCarthy is or what they made happen after using a first-round pick on a quarterback. Like, I think they're going to do just as good, if not better, over the next 3 years than if we go and start all over with a new GM and new coach who's going to want to get rid of half of the guys we have because they're not their guys.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, look at the Panthers with their quarterback they picked last year. Those guys are in the hot seat right now. It just takes 1 year.
The Panthers coach is on the hot seat every year because their ownership is a freaking joke.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're not that, and I don't want to look at the Panthers and follow that path.
Yeah, you can't blame the GM or coaches. It's the owner one is Bryce Young, and you can't go against the owner because that's his team.
Owners want to win now because winning means putting people in the seats.
But the people are in the seats. Like, Vikings got good fans. Like, they're not going to not show up. We can win 3 games, and next year they're going to sell out their season tickets. Like, I don't think that's a concern.
I think that's a concern. They're not in for a Super Bowl. We're gonna show up regardless.
Yeah, we want to see one. We want to be there for it when it happens. What do you think, Shaq, as far as them getting an extension or either one of them?
I think once we sign JJ, I think they're going to get extended because it doesn't make sense for them to let the Wilfs to let KOC and Kwesi draft the quarterback and not be there for the development of that quarterback. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, they only got 1 year left. They're gonna have to extend them and then continue to build around. I know even if we pay JJ, it's all about not just Jefferson. It's all about JJ McCarthy because that's the rookie quarterback, and quarterback is the position of most value. So it's all about building around him and giving him the best team so we can win the Super Bowl. So they got to get extended and continue where they left off because I feel like this might be the first year we actually enter in the KOC and Kwesi era because they kind of still was on the Rick Spielman and Mike Zimmer era where they use their picks and talent and evaluators. But now we finally got cap space and we finally going to have draft picks to where Kwesi could evaluate the team that so far he got 2 drafts in. So he can evaluate the team and see what we need to continue to build forward. Because the goal is a Super Bowl and not just a playoff win. And no offense to Rick Spielman, he dealt with injuries which ruined some of his draft picks. But, he kind of didn't build on to extra players when those top picks get hurt. So I'm going to disagree with Unk. With the Darnold thing.
I wanted to do that too, Cody.
You got a head coach and a GM fired once. Now imagine 2 quarterbacks that does it. That's going to get your GM and your head coach fired. What is that nonsense, dude? Darnold already got head coach and GM fired. Now you're like, okay, that's my quarterback. I'm bringing that guy over, and then I'm gonna have a rookie come in. And if they don't both perform within that first 2 years, the remaining 2 years of the contract, they're getting fired. They're getting fired. You could have had Joe Flacco. Ryan Tannehill has a bridge.
Stop it with the Joe Flacco shit, bro. Like, that shit is so hindsight to say that. Because if they would have signed Joe Flacco, everybody would have lost their shit right when that happened.
You would have signed him for fucking $6 million less.
Flim Flamin', $6 million less.
Flim Flamin',
Right.
baby.
It don't make any sense. They're saying Darnold. He has an out with Darnold. Darnold already got a head coach and GM fired. Like, that's not an out. That's bad.
If Darnold balls out this year, we aren't signing him for $10 million next year. Somebody's going to sign him for $30 million next year if he balls out. He is not our quarterback in any way, shape, or form of the future. He either hits and goes crazy and someone else signs him, or he sucks and he's a backup somewhere next year. That's it. That's the only two options. There's no other option.
So I want to ask them, since we're talking about KOC and Kwesi, what do you guys think the dynamic is of their relationship? Who do you think has more pull as far as who they're going to draft, what free agents they're going to target, who they're going to sign, and if they have to make draft trades, like, who's saying what the capital is going to be? Like, we watched that 18-minute video that came out of the behind-the-scenes draft stuff, so that's pretty much where this question's coming from. We all watched it. We all got takes from it. Cody, who do you think is making the calls, or is it a collaboration?
So I already put this one on our little thing no one knows about. I think it's KOC. I think KOC, he, like, during the talk of the draft, he's like, hey, you're going to need to call this guy now. Because I think that's who we want. That you're going to get my guy. You need to call this guy now. You need to call the Jets now. Like, what was during the video? He said the GM's first name. Hey, you need to call this guy now. And I think it's all about KOC. I think KOC was leading because he saw what Kwesi did that first draft. And he's like, and then I think KOC is coming in like, this is how we're going to do things. Because he literally told them to call the Jets to make the trade. Make it.
Rinaldi?
So you saw a video that Kwesi was told by KOC to make a phone call. Doesn't that sound to you to be a little bit Captain Obvious to make the phone call? I mean, look, what you're actually saying to me is, to everyone, is that without the guidance of KOC, Kwesi couldn't have figured out who he had to flip and call. I don't understand that line of thinking. The man is a Stanford graduate. He knew who to call. He didn't need the other dude in the room to tell him who to call, who was on the board, and how it was going to happen. Now, if your point is that KOC's guy was still available and he's getting anxious about losing him, I'll give you that. But it doesn't mean that he had the hammer in the situation to tell the general manager that he better make the flip and call at that moment. I don't see that as any possibility.
Because the first name that came up on that video wasn't JJ McCarthy, it was Dallas Turner. So for Leonard to say, but the Turner trade for KOC didn't push it, you could hear KOC, the whole thing, that's his first name he said was Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner's still there. If Dallas Turner's going to be there, Dallas Turner's still going to be there. So, Leonard, you're fucking wrong. I'm telling you that right now, because Dallas Turner probably was his pick, right? Then J.J. McCarthy dropped down. He's like, you better make the call to the Jets because he still got pick 23. And then he kept saying, Dallas Turner's still there. Dallas Turner's still there. He's putting the words into Kwesi's head like, when are you going to make that phone call to trade up from 23 to 17?
So what?
Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me field this one. Sure, Cody. And then we got the great reaction from KOC when Kwesi said, we got Turner.
Yeah.
Really? Like he wasn't expecting it. Like he had no idea it was really coming. Like, oh my God, we're waiting until 23.
And Kwesi didn't do that, what would happen?
So but he did.
I think
the fact of the matter is he did. I'm going to jump in and give my take real quick, Keith.
Please.
Last year, I think KOC was the guiding hand.
I'm gonna get a beer.
Last year, KOC was the guiding hand. Yes, KOC probably manipulated him a little bit, and God, stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. If this isn't happening, stay the course. But what I saw was Kwesi was much more in command of the war room this time. Sure, KOC might have been pounding his desk for this guy, pounding his desk for this guy, and trying to seed plants. But everything was initiated by Kwesi in this one. His move up to the Jets, he did not go to KOC and say, "Do you think I should move? Do you think it'll be okay if I trade these picks?" No, he just did it, and then he told him afterward what he gave up to get it. It was Kwesi in control of that war room the whole time, first round.
So I know that we talked about this a little bit in our own little group chat, and we talked about some things, and I'm not backing off anything that said, but I will say at that point, I had not watched the video. I've watched the video, and KOC ran that, and not KOC, Kwesi ran that show. Kwesi, sorry, Cody. Kwesi ran the show. Did he ask for KOC's opinion a couple times? And because he'd be so excited to give his opinion. And then he'd give it, okay, maybe. Like, it just seemed like, Kwesi's walking around there. He's the dad. They're walking around shopping. And KOC's like, Dad, can we please get this? And Kwesi's like, yeah, we'll get that. I spoil you, son. Like, he says yes or no. Like, KOC can say stuff, but Kwesi's the one making the decision. And just like Fish said, when he went and made the trade, like, KOC had no say in how much he could give up or what he should give up. He came back and told him, got him. This is what we gave up. Like, I'm going to go that Kwesi actually probably has a little more control than I thought at first.
And he had
so it's kind of like,
and he had swag when it was done. Sorry, Shaq, go for it, baby.
I'll just say it like this. I don't know if I ever said it on the live, but it's like kind of like the triangle. So at the top we have Kwesi, and then on the left and the right you have KOC and Brian Flores. If I'm the GM and I know, my job depends on my coaches, I'm gonna listen to KOC, who won the Super Bowl with the Rams and who knows what it takes to win a Super Bowl. And then we have Brian Flores, who also won a Super Bowl with the Patriots. And I'm going to listen to both my coaches and see, what type of team does it take to build a Super Bowl champion? So why not listen to the coaches? But at the end of the day, I have the final say. So it's going to boil down to me as the GM to determine what player at what pick is going to help us win now. So even if we have Dallas Turner over J.J. McCarthy or J.J. McCarthy over Dallas Turner, you got to decide on the overall betterment of the Vikings organization. So that's why I feel like even though we know, hey, KOC is a quarterback guy, he was there with Matthew Stafford, he helped Kirk Cousins get the best of his career. It boils down to why not listen to your coaches and determine how to build a roster. I would make my job easier. You've been coaching longer than I've been a GM. Why don't I listen to you and help you succeed at your job, which is going to help me succeed at my job?
I'll give you collaboration, but I'm not going to give Kwesi full control. He had full control in 2022, and that was fucking a disaster.
Nobody's saying he learned on the job.
See, nobody's saying if the decisions have been good or bad. We're asking who's making the decisions, and I think Kwesi is the one. I think Kwesi has veto power, and KOC doesn't.
Right.
Think about it this way.
He doesn't have
like Kwesi was around walking like king of the shit in that draft room. Hey, who's your favorite player in this draft? All right, well, think about it. Who do you like? All right, cool. Hey, B-Fluff, we can get him, man. We'll try to make that happen. Like,
I'll give Kwesi everything outside of the first round. That's what I'll give him.
Think
because
about it this way.
All we heard from every phone call after the first round was, "We're fired up to see you here. We're fired up to see you here."
Bullshit. I heard him talking about, oh my God, should we take the kid or should we take Rouse? Hey, Cody, can I finish? I hate when people talk over people. It's rude. I don't do it. I do.
You didn't watch the video, I thought.
I did, and maybe you need to go rewatch it when Kwesi's back like, oh man, should we take the kicker or Rouse? We really want to get Rouse, and I don't want to lose him. So you're going to tell me that he only had the first round when he's talking about our 6th, 7th rounders, and then he also had the same thing. What about Jurgens? Do we need to pull the trigger on Jurgens, or will someone take him, or can we get him undrafted? He's talking about these guys and asking KOC questions and asking B-Fo questions. Like, I'm starting to feel like we watch different videos.
He actually educated KOC and the coaching staff and said, I picked the kicker because the kicker wasn't going to be there and Jurgens would. So that's why he didn't take Juergens in the spot where he took the kicker.
Right.
And he was right because the two other kickers went right after that.
He was right.
So my thing is, it's like if
Sorry,
I'm
Cody,
the
I didn't see it going this way.
Watch the
if I'm the
video.
boss, it's like kind of like if I listen to KOC and Flores, who succeeded at another point, and I'm not that familiar in football, why not listen to them? If they do good, I'm gonna look good. Am I not wrong?
Why would he listen to them when he got PFF?
Collaboration, yeah. Sam Darnold.
We had to get one of those out. I'm glad it was me.
Hey,
Well, Shaq, kind of to answer your question is there is an entire room full of scouts there's coaching and there's personnel, and those are actually compartmentalized two very different things. That's why Bill Parcells insisted on being the GM as well as the coach, because he said, if I'm going to cook, I want to buy the groceries. But very few coaches have been able to pull that off. And so Kwesi has to look at personnel, and he depends on his scouts in conjunction with his coaches. Now, I'll agree with you. Hey, Kevin O'Connell was mentioning Dallas Turner. He was talking about him. He was trying to plant seeds. What I'm saying is, Kwesi's the one that said, it's here, I'm making the move, and I'm getting them. And they had nothing to do with KOC saying, you need to get them. What up, Robbie? Skol, buddy.
Howdy. David, where's that steam that you had for me the other week? I see you over there nodding and agreeing with these other assholes when I said the same shit about the micromanagement, and you tried to rip me a new one. You did. You were like,
I don't understand what you're saying. Hit me up, Eddie.
You're over there
Give me
like
more.
a fucking lemming, just agreeing with them. And
Give me more. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Fucking guns, my son. When
Give me
I
more.
said that Kwesi micromanaged KOC at that draft, you ripped me a new one.
I just ripped Cody a new one. What are you talking about?
No. That was some gentle, feather-lovingly touching shit. You went for my
Oh, come on.
cornhole, sir.
Because it's fun to fucking
I
beat
needed
your
some
ass.
ointment after that freaking raping, sir.
I apologize that
No,
night.
don't you dare apologize.
Do
to
I
me.
have to
Don't
go back and
apologize
watch
to me,
last
sir.
week now?
I feel like I need
It
to.
was 3 weeks ago, bitch. It was 3 weeks ago. You're a douchebag. That's what I know. No.
That's more of an
Robbie, you're going to have to
asshole.
forgive
More
us.
of an
We've known each
asshole.
other for 20
Douchebag,
plus
no.
years.
No, but I saw you agreeing. I did not.
I didn't
feel
agree with
the love
Cody
was
at
not
all.
Equal.
Dude, you have no idea how hard Cody and I went at that on our little Discord thing that we have. I think I called him a racist at one point, like an idiot.
That's basic Tuesday for us.
Yeah,
It
which
really
is not true. So apologies to you, Cody. So there you go.
No, you just get backed up in a corner. You got to throw your last bomb when you're wrong.
Yeah.
I understand.
Fuck, who doesn't, right?
I got to go see what Robbie's talking about because I feel like I feel like David's
I
kind
feel
of
like you need to make
been
a
on the
short
Kwesi
video of it.
bandwagon the whole time.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
think
I feel like he's
story.
Hey,
at all.
I was giving Kwesi these, but I still don't think he was
right. You had a one night stand. Like, it's fine.
No, I had a good 3-night stand.
Keith, I feel
I
like
don't know what you did the
maybe
second
if you
night.
find a good clip of it, maybe you should put it on YouTube.
What's that?
David Ream and Robbie out.
What's YouTube?
He was quite aggressive. I had to meet his energy.
Did you like that's fair? I don't.
Oh,
I've
dude,
never seen
come on,
Ronaldo
dude,
aggressive,
I
loud,
understand.
or chew gum on camera.
And let me tell you one thing, you will never see him lean in like this.
I just look at command a little different. Then I think if you're in command, you are making the decision solely on your own, not just.
See, I don't agree with that,
No,
man.
wait, no.
I mean,
Football's a
fucking
team
army.
sport, my man, and so is running a team.
That's what it is.
No,
Cody's not in a democracy-laden environment.
Cody, honestly, that's a really good take, Cody, because that's probably how you look at it. I don't look at it like that.
Brass makes the decisions. Brass should always make the decisions, but brass should not micromanage other brass though, because then you get a whole breakdown of bad shit. But Cody, only you and I think like that in this group, so because of reasons,
right?
But KOC, that dude is smart. I will say that he's made some the few ultra boneheaded calls, the tush push times 2, get so magnified it's ridiculous that we overlook the other genius aspects that he does bring to the table. So I still, with what he had to work with last year, I still give him an 8. I'm not a fan of Greasy. I'm not. I haven't been a fan of Greasy. I'm still not a fan of Greasy.
Robbie, now I can come back and throw the same shit at you that you just threw at Rinaldi, because all season you talk shit about KOC, the same shit that I did, the same stuff. When he chooses to go for it on third or fourth down, his plays on third, his play calling, you were very critical of that.
The microcosm,
and you're gonna go at 8.
That microcosm, yes, in that that small amount of space I'm speaking of, yes. That spotlight shit, the what the fucks, yes. The rest of the time,
Slobby, wait, Slobby, wait a minute. You can't call him Greasy, and I can't call you Slobby. Sorry, Slobby.
Now, hold on. Now, if Kwesi doesn't pick Scene, where are we at?
You mean like if he picked Hamilton?
No, if he traded back and picked a different player besides Scene, where are we at?
Well, then we don't know, because it might have been another bust.
There was actually a lot of good players that are doing good well.
And I've been on record saying I'm not even mad at the Scene pick. I'm mad at the route we took to get there and what we got. I don't hold it against him that it was a busted pick. I hold it against him that he didn't get enough in the trade. That's what I'm mad about. I'm not really mad about the Scene thing. Yeah, seeing Hamilton kill it kind of makes me go back. I'm like, well, damn it, we could have had him, but that's hindsight.
I know that's the hindsight. People's views on Kwesi is because of the Scene pick. I think people are. We can't hear you, Shaq. You're like singing in the background. But
I was talking to my homies about something else. I'm still listening
about some girls. What? No, but I think without the Scene, if Scene wasn't picked and it was just he traded out of the first round completely into the second and picked a different player, I think we'd be on a different ship with Kwesi.
I think I have a good analogy for how Cody views this relationship. Cody looked like the movie Fury, where the grizzled sergeant asks the lieutenant if when he started shaving. And that's how Cody views KOC and Kwesi. That even though Kwesi outranks KOC, KOC's out experiencing him.
Mm-hmm. I have no problem with that. It's just like I said before, if I'm the boss and I know KOC won a Super Bowl and he's been around the league as a player and a coach, and he experienced things that I haven't experienced, and then you have Leonard Fullers who've been around as a coach and a player, why not listen to your assets?
Hey, I got a question for you about that, Shaq.
The drafts. What? Just let him go home. Why not even have him at the draft at all if you're not going to listen to him? Shaq, I agree with you on that.
Hey, Shaq, I got a question
Nobody
for you.
Said he doesn't listen. We're saying that he has final word. I think he absolutely listens to his coaches.
He has command, not final word.
Final word. He has final word.
Shaq, let's say we got
command and final word.
Really lucky, and we won a Super Bowl this year. Would you then suddenly be thinking that Wes Phillips, he knows how to win a Super Bowl? That man's last name is Phillips. His dad was a coach. That man's going to go coach a team, and by God, we should listen to him because he knows how to build one.
No son has ever won a Super Bowl.
I'm just saying. I'm just correlating Shaq saying. I'm just questioning Shaq on his thoughts that because KOC happened to be on the Rams staff as an offensive coordinator who didn't call plays.
But he had to be there to learn from Sean McVay. I'd rather a coach be there with a coach who knows what
Ed Donatel learned from what's his name?
Vic Fangio.
Vic Fangio too. How'd that work?
Well, you see, Vic Fangio, he was doing the what's that called? The quick notes. I forgot what it's called. You know, for like reading the book, so you go online.
I'm gonna stop briefing you now, buddy. I get your point. I understand. I just wanted to challenge you a little bit.
I get it though. I'm not trying to put full faith in KOC. No, kind of where Kwesi's mindset is. He's all about saving the Wilfs money, and KOC and Flores is all about building the team. So we got to kind of balance the two to get a Super Bowl team. right now the Chiefs is doing good because they got Mahomes, so they can kind of be like, well, shit. We can kind of spend money here, here, and here, and then hope Mahomes do it, and we got Andy Reid. We're not in that luxury because we don't know what J.J. McCarthy could be. We're hoping we can develop it into a playmaker and build around him, but it's kind of hard to build around something we don't know yet. So it's kind of like we just gotta wait and see. We're at the wait and see period.
And Leonard Fangio has been fired more than Donatel has. This is how outdated that defense is.
You will be it. I'll be it. I don't know what time he comes back, but I might be here.
So there's something that kind of came up a lot towards the end of the season, and it's kind of made whispers in this offseason among fans, not among anybody credible. But is there a scenario where you could see the Vikings letting go of KOC in order to retain Brian Flores as the head coach at the end of this season? Is there anything that could happen to make that a reality?
Yeah, I think Flores goes somewhere else.
Yeah, he's back.
Pull out.
What if the offense ends up being ranked in the bottom 5 without injuries this year, and our defense ends up ranked top 5?
We know that's going to happen, though. You look at what we have on paper right now. That's what's probably going to happen.
We got this wide receiver.
So you're gonna if that happens, you're gonna let Flores walk and keep KOC?
What are we going to do?
It's happened a lot of times. Yeah. We let Billick walk and kept Dennis Green.
So let's keep doing what we did wrong then, right?
And Dungy.
I think the Wolves let go.
And I don't want to put too much blame on Rick Spielman because, if his players didn't get hurt, we'll probably be competing for a Super Bowl still. But we can't predict injuries. Like, he had the right mindset, but he spent too much time trying to build through the draft when there's other ways to build a team.
I agree.
Shaq, that man traded a first-round pick for Mr. Glass.
Who's Mr. Glass?
Sam Bradford.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was desperation. Oh my God.
Like I said,
But I was okay with that. I was mad at it for one day. And then I got over it and thought about it. I was like, well, we just went to the playoffs last year. We almost beat the Seahawks. We were a missed field goal away. Like, we're almost there. We got Adrian Peterson. How much longer does he have? I was okay with it. Sam Bradford's a starting quarterback in the NFL. And the season's about to start. What other options did they have? Heineke was our backup, and he had just torn his Achilles kicking a glass door when he was drunk. So, what options did the man have? He wasn't just going to go get a slappy. We were a contending team.
Right.
And that was the cost.
Trade as many firsts as you can for an elite quarterback. That was on a terrible team.
I agree with Fish.
Yeah, because everybody's looking to trade their elite quarterback.
I was mad team. For Sam Bradford, but I understood because it's that was our Super Bowl window, and Rick Spielman was like, fuck. This is the worst case scenario to happen at the worst time because we enter in the season, we're ready to prepare Teddy for all the offense and defense, and he got hurt during preseason. So there's not much we could do. If you're trying to build a Super Bowl, what you gonna do? Roll out who was our quarterback at the time? Taylor Heineke got hurt.
Sean Hill.
It's in the comments.
Well,
no, Sean Hill against the Tennessee Titans. Against the Tennessee Titans, and we didn't even score a touchdown that first game. Our defense did, and we kicked a couple field goals and won that game.
Yep.
Yeah, we would not want to see 16 games with Sean Hill. I would give 2 first-rounders not to see that.
Yep.
So you say we was
Jack, to answer your question, we probably could have given up a whole lot less than a first round to have gotten one Case Keenum.
Yeah.
Well, we did.
No, wait. So we was
running over. Even I didn't have that foresight, Fish, so I can't blame Rick for not having it.
It was funny because we went from a guy that can't throw a deep ball to a guy that cannot throw a deep ball at all. We went from he had a good quarterback percentage in Sam Bradford, but he was still under 7 yards per pass.
That's funny because I got a lot of people telling me they swear up and down that if we would have had Bradford instead of Case Keenum, we would have beat the Eagles.
No, we wouldn't have.
I believe it. It might have been.
You got one underneath you that thinks that. You think that he thinks that Bradford probably would have been an MVP if he would have played the whole season.
I do too.
It's healthy. I believe it. It might
Okay, we need content. Go ahead and tell me why.
I'm sorry, I'm speechless.
Did you see that?
Me too, but
do you remember the Saints game?
I remember the game, but David, I also remember the year before where we started off 5-0 with him and went 8-8 to finish the season.
And had no offensive line. When we say we have no offensive line, the reason we still say we have no offensive line is because of the 2016 offensive line. That is why people continue to say we have no offensive line. It happened.
What about the year our offensive line coach died?
In 2018, it sucked again. Shut the fuck up. Shut the flim-flam up.
No. That's
not the flim-flam up.
That was the year.
I'm just saying, if we had Sam Bradford, the offense would look way better than when we had Case Keenum against the Eagles.
Case Keenum had to come in for Bradford on the Monday night game against the Bears, where Bradford started that game and couldn't get shit going. We were losing the game. Case Keenum came in, the offense looked formidable, and we won the game.
You can't say.
Don't tell me. You got nothing to say that Bradford. You have nothing to stand on, bro, to say that Bradford would have done any better. There's nothing to stand on except for hate for Case Keenum.
Healthy Bradford.
I can't wait to timestamp this shit.
That Bradford from 2016 did not look like that Bradford who played the Bears. That Bradford who played the Bears looked like he didn't know he couldn't move in the pocket.
That Bradford who played the Bears was the same one who played the Saints.
No.
It was. It was like 2 weeks apart, bro. So you want Bradford who might be good or he might be trash, but he's gonna beat the Eagles in the NFC Championship.
Bro, Keith, are you really telling me that you think I even think about Case Keenum ever? Like,
what did we?
I don't think you think about Bradford. I think you think about Keenum more than Bradford.
No,
what did we start the year? What did we start the year off with Bradford, and how did we end the year off with Keenum?
Which 2017 or 16?
Which year?
17.
That's 2017. I know.
Well, Bradford got hurt the first game against the Saints.
Right.
Second game.
I think he got hurt the first game, but he finished it. He didn't play the second game. Correct. He came back. I think it was the third game against the Bears, and that's where he looked very ineffective. Couldn't move the ball. Couldn't get anything going. Bears were sucking, and we still couldn't score or take the lead. Case Keenum comes in, saves the day, saves the season.
Weren't the Bears like trash that year and went up for Mitch Trubisky the following year?
It's somewhere around there.
Jesus.
I'm just saying, like, you can say the Case wasn't good or it was lucky, this and that, and that's fine. Actually, it's not fine. You're wrong. I'll debate you on that. But you're not going to argue that Bradford would have taken us to the Super Bowl and get away with it. Fish?
Oh, no. I mean, I've told you before, I think it was lightning in a bottle, but it was a glorious season. I think it was magic. Do I think if Keenum would have come back in 18 that we would have been even close to what we did in 17? No, I think the stars lined up and it was just incredible. Just like 09 versus 10, 17 was something else. Do I think if Sam Bradford would have come in versus the Eagles, we would have won? No, nothing was stopping that. Nothing was stopping us from getting smoked.
Leonard.
The biggest what ifs of my life will be what would have happened if Case Keenum came back in 2018. Because I'm tired of hearing everybody say, "Oh, was this lightning in a bottle?" But the motherfucker did it for like 15 games. Like, it wasn't like, "Oh, he came in, got hot for 4 games, did good in the playoffs," like Nick Foles did. Like, the dude did it the whole season. He was like, the chemistry was undeniable with the offense. Like, they all love each other. They gel together. That means something. That means sometimes more than skill or talent alone. Just having that gel, that connection. That's something. Kirk never had that in 6 years with the team. So
Zimmer
to tell me it couldn't happen in
about it openly. Zimmer hated Keenum. Zimmer hated Keenum, and he talked about it openly.
He loved Kirk, right?
He did not like him. There was not that symmetry that you're talking about. Are you kidding me?
Wait, did I say he had symmetry and all this with Zimmer? Did I say he had it with the offense?
The team.
Who actually was involved in the offense. Zimmer wasn't involved in the offense, so I don't care what Zimmer thought about the offense. To be frank.
So
yeah, the defensive coordinator, head coach doesn't. You don't care what he has to think. Okay.
With the Zimmer thing, it's like
I don't, because he didn't care about the offense. Did you know that he didn't start meeting with Kirk till the fucking last season of his tenure? He didn't meet with his own quarterback.
He didn't want the signing because there was issues in the front office.
Okay, he didn't want Kirk. He didn't want Case.
He didn't want Kirk. He wanted Teddy, but Teddy got hurt. He loved Teddy.
What Leonard is saying is true. So the problem was when Teddy got hurt.
No shit, he didn't like Case. We all know that. Like, but he's not introducing nothing new here.
Hi, Mike.
So when Teddy got hurt, it's
and
like,
I never said the chemistry was with the coach. I said the chemistry with the players on the field. You saw Case, Diggs, and Thielen, and those three there hasn't been a better connection since then as a top three. All right. I'm sorry, Shaq. I keep stopping you, talking over you, but you get me on this subject. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut up. Go ahead, Shaq.
That's basically what you and Leonard was saying. It's kind of like Zimmer really loved Teddy. Like, that was his favorite quarterback. And then when he saw him got hurt, it was like, damn, he lost a part of himself. And it's kind of like, he kind of went, it's whatever at this point. And Case Keenum showed that he may not be an elite quarterback, but he did just enough to, continue what Teddy was doing. And then when Spiller signed Kirk, Zimmer was just basically like, I'm going to just run the defense and then let the offense do whatever. Because at the end of the day, my point don't matter. And it is what it is at this point. Because after that,
I feel that's the way it was even before that, even before Kirk. I don't think he cared about the offense. You can go and talk to the people who go to practice and stuff. They said he was never around the offense. He cared about his defense. He always wanted to draft a cornerback. Like, He cared about the defense.
Right.
I feel like he cared about the offense. It's just not like he cared less once Teddy got hurt. And then
he wanted to win games 12-9.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he
did.
And he did
as long as you win the games.
I think the thing about Keenum that you're right about, Keith, is that he would win games with heart. He'd scramble. He'd make this crazy fucking play and that's why Zimmer hated him so much, because he kept saying he got lucky. But the reality is that the dude was winning games with heart. And to that
and he had the number one defense.
To that point, I don't think Sam Bradford could have done that or won over their hearts the way he did because he played with heart. However, you can't compare their arms. You can't compare their touch. You can't compare their deep ball. I mean, I don't know, man. I would say that you're right.
Cody just said Bradford doesn't have a deep ball.
Bradford had a fucking great deep ball, dude. You're crazy if you say it. He has the best arm of any Viking quarterback in the last decade.
Then why did he throw for 7 yards per throw?
That's because we were throwing short passes. It was the offensive scheme.
Cody,
come on now. Are you telling me that if you have an offensive scheme that's run the ball 60% of the time and then your passes are slot passes, like slants, like 5-6 yards?
With Case Keenum.
Why did
it changed?
It didn't change. It didn't change.
The scheme never changed. No, it didn't.
How does Case Keenum have a better yards per attempt than fucking Sam Bradford?
How much? Half a yard? 1 yard? What are you talking about?
One game one game or a game and a half to 14 and a half games.
I will prove
to you. 2016 Sam Bradford. Then compared to 2017 Case Keenum.
Well, because 16 to 17 there was a change at offensive coordinator.
Even if it's there, it doesn't matter. It
doesn't matter. You guys look for any excuse. I swear. It's like these players don't even matter at all.
I mean,
it don't
so
matter
you change offensive coordinators, that changes the
Sam Darnold. It's all about the coordinators and the coaches. It don't matter. Okay. It don't matter who the player is. It's the coach. Oh, the coach changed. That's why he didn't play like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, because the players are fucking calling the plays, right? They're the ones designing the offense, right? Yeah, I forgot about that. Fuck the coaches. We don't even need those guys.
Yeah, and they're in his ear saying,
Jesus Christ, this is just wild. You guys are hilarious right here.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You best friends with Bert Kreischer up there or what? Making fucking jokes.
Bert Kreischer's you, bro.
Yeah, there's been one joke here. There's just been facts. You don't like the facts.
Yeah, you don't like the facts, but that's okay. We'll continue.
I do. And I give them. I come from the brain, not the heart.
You say you come from the Bronx?
No. I don't say that name.
He's from the Upper West Side.
Don't speak that name too loudly now.
So, in conclusion, You guys don't see a way that Buffalo becomes the head coach.
I think he goes somewhere else.
Yeah, he's
My thing is, I feel like
so I just had to tie it back to where that started.
Good call on that one.
I feel like the only way he's gonna become a head coach is the owners. He stops suing the owners because it's kind of like, how you gonna sue your boss and then still work?
Yeah. Well, I also don't think that he's going to be our head coach because you're not drafting a quarterback and then firing the guy who's supposed to develop him for a defensive coach. The only way that could happen is if McCarthy.
That's a good point.
It's the only way it happens.
That's a good point. But they did bring Josh McCown on to develop. Would be my argument against that. It's still a good point. And
I get it.
Taken.
I get it.
My argument would be if Kwesi's gone, the whole coaching staff is gone.
No.
GM's going to choose his coach.
Maybe, except for the defensive coordinator that stays as head coach.
Yeah, I think he's going to want a whole new thing. He wants to do his own.
All right. So nobody thinks that that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. It would bum me out that if we had a really shitty offense, our defense kicked ass, and we only won 6 games, that we ended up staying with KOC and watch Flores go be a head coach somewhere else. Like we said about Frazier and why can't I think of the dude's name right? Tomlin. Like we let those guys walk and became great head coaches. So I would feel like I'm watching history again. But I could see the position the Vikings would be in, and it'd be hard to make that move, no matter what happens.
Is Frazier a good head coach?
No,
I'm not thinking Frazier. I'm not thinking Frazier. I'm thinking Dungy. Sorry, thank you.
Okay, you're thinking.
Thank you for calling me out on that.
Yeah,
I was thinking Dungy, but
okay.
You called definitely not Frazier. It wasn't Frazier. Frazier's a nice guy.
Tomlin's another.
Tomlin and Dungy were the two I was thinking of.
Yep.
Tomlin was only here for 1 year, and then we had children.
He was.
That time.
Yep. Billick.
And I think that Tomlin should have been the choice over Childress at the time, but I forgot. I think he was playing with the Packers or something like that, and the Vikings got scared and pulled the trigger.
I said y'all stand a better chance.
Yeah.
Than Tony Dungy.
Nah, he can stay retired.
So, where we're at right now, do you guys think that we are entering our Super Bowl window, or do we still got some work to do on this window, Rinaldi?
I think we're a year away from it cracking open, 2 years away from it being wide open.
Yep.
I think 2025 we're going to be very competitive. We're going to be a challenger. I think 2026 look the flop out. Look the flop out.
Look the flim flam out.
Yep. Look out. 2026 is our year, boys. 2025 we're going to be very competitive and a challenger. Next. Hey, Kevin.
Hey,
What up, Kevin? Skol, buddy. So how do you feel about the Sam Bradford versus Case Keenum?
Well, that's why I hopped on here, because I was like, what are we doing talking about these Doug Flutie boys when I thought I jumped back into 2016 and fixed a lot of mistakes I made over the past 7 years. That's where we were heading. Like, I thought we were talking about like the future and the present, not like, I don't know, how we fucked up 1998.
Sometimes, like a team that's never won a Super Bowl, we go back to the almosts and the what ifs.
Or unless you won 5 Super Bowls and you talk about the past.
Yeah.
Bitches.
See, the thing is, though, Kevin, is ain't nobody going to talk about the what ifs and whatnots for the '87 season when we went to the NFC Championship game. Nobody ever remembers that season.
No.
But yeah. We'll talk about 17 and we'll talk about 09 until our hearts bleed. What you got, Kevin?
I don't know. You guys covered a lot of topics, but I don't think Flores is head coach. I think Wes Phillips. Like, what's Wes Phillips doing? I mean, I think if our offense struggles, I think he's the scapegoat.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I don't think KOC got McCown in here, so I don't think it was like he's any type of idea for replacement for KOC. Might be for Phillips though.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to make one little comment. That's a really nice neutral shirt you're wearing today, Kevin.
No wife beater or child beater today.
Yeah, buddy. Oh my gosh.
Kevin, I like that. I like that take, man. So he's the GOAT. If he's the problem if we have a bad offense this year. I actually like that. And you put McCown right in there. So we're already grooming the guy. I love it. That's actually a really good take. Never thought of it.
Definitely. And KOC, he's a passing guy. So who's developing on run offense that hasn't existed? If we don't get a running game going, who we getting?
So let me put Kevin on the hot seat. Let me put Kevin on the spot right now. Considering who we have for our roster right now and who we think was going to be the starters and who we've got for coaches, Kevin, if you could reach back through the hands of time for the last 30 years, seeing as how we just went back to 16 and 17, go back 30 years and pull one former Viking off of a team in their prime and drop them in this roster to make us an immediate Super Bowl contender. Who you got?
I got Matt Burke.
Matt Burke. Give a little bit on that.
We all have the problem with Bradbury at center, and I'm not sure. I don't know. I didn't want to go with an obvious Randy Moss pick or Peterson pick. I mean, that would have been fun too, but I think that's our biggest hole, and I think he'd be the best fix. I couldn't pick up a guard. I don't know.
Hockenson.
That's a good pick. Yeah, Hockenson. Yeah.
All right, so Leonard, you got anybody?
Oh man, it's tough because with Kevin's saying, the offensive line, there's so many good offensive linemen, at least interior offensive linemen from the past you could pick, or defensive linemen. How could you not want to pick John Randall as an interior pass rush for this defense and team him up with the guys that we have? Is it going to make our defense that much better? But our interior offensive line is such a question mark that I'd be happy with, you put Hutchinson in there, it instantly upgrades that offensive line to a top 5 offensive line, I think, because that left side is just going to be a complete lockdown 100% of the time. And when we had our best rushing offenses was with Hutchinson at left guard. So,
sweet.
I mean, I'd be good with either or.
Sweet. What you got, Shaq? Who you got?
It's a tough decision. So I want to say Randy Moss because he is my favorite Vikings player ever. But I'm going to go with Steve Hutchinson because we need a guard. We need somebody to solidify that offensive line. And if we can solidify the offensive line, we could put Nick Bones back there and we can go to the playoffs. As long as he feels like it's practice, that's all that matters. And you don't have to worry about no pressure. You can get the dump offs and the deep passes and all that.
Oh my God, my man. Who you got, Rinaldi?
My second mention tonight of the same guy, Kevin Williams. He could do it all. He could rush the passer. He could stop the run. He could stuff the gaps. He's a leader. The guy was a stud, underrated. He'd have been a really nice fit with this unit.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, he was somebody that I was leaning on early before the show too. And then when you mentioned him earlier, I was like, but yeah, what's up, Dylan? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Dylan.
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good. You got somebody you drop in off the last 30 years?
It will always be Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Imagine this offense with Justin Jefferson, AP, fucking Jordan Addison, TJ Hockenson.
Flim Flam and Jordan Addison, yep.
Yeah, I don't know who would stop it. It'd be crazy.
I'm gonna blow your mind right here. I'm gonna go with, because I think Aaron Jones is basically Robert Smith, right? I'm gonna go with the guys that have played quarterback with Randy Moss that got us to the NFC Championship game. I'm either going Dante Culpepper or Randall Cunningham, because I think the offense is set up just as the same as the offense was when 2001 when we made the NFC Championship game. We lost that 41-0 stinker because Robert Smith dropped his playbook on the fucking bus somewhere. But I'm thinking it's a Randall Cunningham or Dante Culpepper. We have an offense. The offense is set. You can argue that all day you want. I think we have with T.J. Hockenson, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and the same offensive line as what the Vikings had in 98, same defense as the Vikings had in 98. Why not put one of those two guys in that position to just launch the fucking football? Right now, all we're missing is a quarterback. We have Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy in there, right? Why not add that quarterback that can just sling the ball out there, that's not afraid to, that's not going to make bad decisions? Because he has two top-tier wide receivers out there, probably the generational talent like we had in 98. Just saying.
I think the problem with Culpepper was
not
he could only make half-field reads. I don't know if he could play KOC's system.
Yeah, he wasn't. He didn't seem to have that mental thing going on.
Yeah, I mean, you got Moss. You can check it out there. Make two reads, 1-2, run.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was seriously thinking defense. I was thinking Kevin Williams, Pat Williams, those guys. I was thinking it. But as you guys were giving your takes, I had another prominent name pop into my head that I thought, wow, that would be fun. My God.
I think it's the same name that just popped in my head.
Percy Harvin.
Wow.
Imagine Percy Harvin and Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and Percy Harvin returning kicks. And
there's no kickoff. The kickoff rules changed this year, so you can't use that.
Yeah. There's going to be more kickoff returns this year.
Yeah, they said that. I mean, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Percy Harvin. I hated that he had migraines for us, and then all of a sudden the migraines went away when he went to the Seattle Seahawks. I hated it. But man, that would be a serious show.
Maybe one of our wide receiver screens would work.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What would be sick that kind of popped in my head right now was prime time Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah.
Like prime Xavier Rhodes, like lockdown Odell Beckham and fucking Brandon Marshall back-to-back weeks type of Xavier Rhodes.
Would you guys say that last year with Kirk Cousins, that with the streak that he went on, we would have been probably playoff contenders, maybe divisional, maybe NFC Championship round?
Yes.
Okay. That's when I was trying to go here with the Dante Culpepper. Are we a quarterback away?
Yes.
Right now. Okay. There. Points proven. I'm doing.
I think that's what kind of has I think that's kind of what has everybody in the mindset like we're 1 to 2 years away from that championship window, is in the hopes that JJ develops in the next year or two, and fills that void.
Hey, let me bring up another defense. Let me bring up a defensive name. Prime Eric Kendricks. Was he that good?
The only reason I don't think that one is because of the 3-4 switch.
Yeah, positionally, not enough of a. Positionally speaking, it's not enough.
Because I thought
I think he was a scheme fit.
Because I thought Chad Greenway for a second, but I was like,
okay.
Yeah, but to turn you into an instant Super Bowl contender, I don't think adding Chad Greenway or Eric Kendricks even tips that needle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw somebody throw Brett Favre in the comments, and
if
we got like an Aaron Rodgers or somebody like that, I think we'd be an instant contender.
Yeah, 09 Brett Favre would make it real interesting, real fast.
Yeah,
right.
Quarterback. We're a quarterback. We're a quarterback away. We have Sam Darnold and a rookie right now. That's
all right. Well, that was fun. So OTAs, right? We've talked a lot about JJ McCarthy, but our other first round pick, one Mr. Dallas, going through the big D and don't mean Dallas, Turner, trying to make everybody remember that he too is a first round pick. And I don't know if y'all saw it, but at the OTAs, Darisaw said that he put a spin move on that's faster than Hunter's.
Mm-hmm. Not on Darisaw, though.
But he didn't do it to him. Somebody else, right?
Exactly.
And of course, recency bias and the fact that Turner's on his teammate now, and Hunter is not, but I will still take the praise from Darisaw saying this guy's good.
Yeah,
like it says under my name, it's iron sharpens iron season, baby.
I don't think
so. What an offensive tackle says about a defensive end and vice versa, I'll agree. I'll believe it a little bit, right? Anybody got any notes they want to talk about with Dallas Turner?
I got one. Go ahead, Dylan. Go.
My bad. I was just gonna say two things. I was just gonna say one is I don't think Darisaw is gonna go out of his way to like lie or hype somebody up if it's not like dead ass like the god honest truth, like if no one has a gun to his head, like, and then two, I had seen a video on the Vikings website the other night. It like popped up and I was watching it and it was like showing the behind the scenes of the draft, and I thought it was really cool that like pretty much immediately after they took JJ McCarthy, Kwesi looked at like KOC and was like we might get Dallas Turner. And like they took the quarterback and they knew damn well like we're still gonna get the fucking defensive guy, and so I was just like, damn, like he fucking knew it, and so I don't know, I thought that was pretty cool.
The only thing my only problem with Dallas Turner at all, just to tap the brake a hair. I have super high hopes for this guy. I think his twitch is great. I think his athleticism is off the charts. His body size is great for positionally speaking, and he could be all over the place in Flores' defense. The only thing that I want to tap the brakes on a little bit is that there hasn't been a first-round defensive end or whatever position you call that, edge, that's played more than 600 snaps in the last 4 or 5 drafts. So he's not going to play 1,000 snaps this year, in my opinion. I think he's probably going to end up at 500 or 600. That doesn't mean he can't still have 8, 10, 9, 11 sacks, but I just think it's going to be just tap the brakes a little bit. Give him 2 years to really develop and know what it's gonna end up being.
How many snaps did Jalen Phillips have?
That's the other guy from that team last year, right? From Alabama the previous year, under 700.
Jalen Phillips was from Miami.
I think it was under 700.
Okay.
Look it up. Will Anderson went for 700.
Will Anderson was under 700. So.
Yeah. Well, we got Micah Parsons going, causing havoc too, and he probably didn't play that many snaps either. But
right,
that's where we got like where's Van Geekel fall into our rotation, or how many snaps you get him. And Grenard, people are like, oh, those guys might be bumped out because Dallas Turner's there. No, not at all. Our front seven's going to rotate. It's not like an offensive line where you put the 5 guys out there and they stay out there.
Right. No, yeah, for sure. We need to keep them fresh because, like we saw at the end of the year last year, especially with injuries. 1, it prevents injuries, and then 2, it keeps them fresh. So at like the end of the game, God forbid we're playing Detroit and our ends are tired and they got 2 Pro Bowl tackles on them. We need our guys fucking ready to go.
Word up. So, Theo Jackson, right? Wasn't there a part where somebody got injured or something and Theo Jackson actually got play time and Singh was still
Micah Parsons? Micah Parsons has 904 snaps in his rookie year.
Thanks, Cody.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was an off-ball linebacker, though.
That motherfucker. I remember seeing him on the field a lot.
Yeah, but he was also an off-ball linebacker, though. He rushed the ball, so it's not like a defensive end.
He's not an edge. He rushes the quarterback, but it's a different position, sort of.
Isn't Dallas? They were in a 4-3 though, huh?
No, they were in a. Alabama runs the same Mabel complex as we do.
But I think that your point there, Fish. I think it was Smith that went down that Jackson took over for last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, he did go down for a couple games, and it was Jackson who came in. Singh still remained a scratch, didn't he?
Yeah, he's done.
So if Jackson's doing well in his second OTAs, anybody want to stick up for our boy Lewis Singh? Anybody want a white knight for him on the call?
Hey, if like someone said, a journalist said, if the light bulb finally clicks in his head, I think it was Albert Breer. If a light bulb finally clicks in his head, you're going to see first round talent out there on the field. Like you're going to see it. But it just hasn't. So like, if you can't read a playbook, you're no good on this team. I'm sorry.
What really has me kind of like messed up about that situation is one of the reasons we took Lewis Sane, I thought was because like the dude was smart. Like that was like one of the things that came out when he was drafted about like he was so smart and things like that. And it's like, what the fuck, dude?
I never heard that. I heard his teammates really liked him from other interviews. And
Yeah, I heard Kwesi thought he was really smart. I mean, I'm waiting for the day we get a headline that's like seen in booth. All of a sudden, they're fucking beasts, and like our whole.
There hasn't been anything good about him come out. Nothing good about him.
Not a
word.
All right, guys. So,
do you guys think we're gonna get the same safety play that we got last year from our safeties?
100%.
Yeah,
it's gonna be repeated.
I think so.
I feel like that's a huge thing, for us.
I think
Smith is the only one that's a veteran on that out of the three, so they're still all young and learning. So
I think if Kwesi knew about Bynum and Ellis, he wouldn't be drafting teams in the 2022 draft.
I think that we're going to get the same level of play. I don't know that we're going to see as many blitzes or three guys on the field as we have been. That may change a little bit. I think they filled in some linebacker needs, and given the opportunity, I don't think Flores wants to have three guys in the field as much as he did or blitz as much as he did. I think he was forced to, and given the opportunity, he'll change that scheme up a little bit. So I don't see it exactly the same way, but I do think they'll be really good still. I think it's a great group. I think it's a great room.
I loved how they drafted in the later rounds and picked up free agents according to Flores' style of defense. They went straight up linebacker and DB.
Yep.
Yeah,
Flores does not care about this line.
It's going to be really interesting to see how they do that because, last year you saw us with like two backers on the field a lot, just like Pace and Hicks, and then we had that third safety. And then this year we have the luxury of putting, the four backers on the field with like a true 3-4, instead of like running like a fucking 3-2 fucking 3-6 or whatever.
That's what it was.
But the thing is though, so it's like positive, negative. You have those three safeties on, like you can cover better. But is our run defense going to be a whole lot better? Having those four backers on the field instead of three safeties. So it'll be kind of cool seeing how they can like incorporate,
I don't see this being a traditional 3-4 defense whatsoever. It's a hybrid at best. They call it 3-4, but it's not. We do not have four linebackers on our team.
No,
we have three.
Well,
Ginkle. So I could see us playing three safeties just as much as we did last year. And the only thing I could see is in times where there's two safeties, it's Metellus and Bynum, and Smith is on the bench.
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
I agree.
Kind of playing out.
So
we go nickel. We throw three cornerbacks out there with the two safeties. I don't see us going more than three linebackers unless it's short yard.
So who's going to be on the bench? What's it, Cashman or Pace?
Cashman's wearing the green dot right now.
Yeah, it's going to be Pace. Cashman had a really good PFF rating last year against the pass. So
so that means one of them goes to the bench.
Yeah. Someone's got to go to the bench at some point. It depends on scheme fit.
So you'd rather have the three safeties versus Cashman and Pace both on the field?
No,
depends on what's lining up against us. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing that you can guarantee
yourself, formations for sure.
Yeah, the thing that you can guarantee yourself is that Flores is going to throw something out there that's not what you expect to see. Period. End of story. Could be 3-4-4-3. It's straight cash, homie.
That it would be dope to see him do something kind of like Zimmer would do and put like one of the ends as like a tackle or something.
Yeah, I think you'll see that. I think you'll see some of that with
we saw it last year.
Oddball situation type thing,
Yeah. No one cares about running the ball anymore. No one cares about paying defensive tackles money that much. What, two defensive tackles are getting paid high dollar because it's a passing league. No one gives a fuck about running the ball anymore. That's why you don't see running backs making buku bucks anymore.
Except the Detroit Lions, they got two Pro Bowl tackles and they run.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
Yeah, you draft the running back. It's like they would rather draft a running back instead of pay a good running back.
No, I know, but they run.
All right, guys. So we're going to move into the hot take section. So I'm going to give Kevin and Dylan and Leonard a chance to get their mind wrapped around it. Every week we're going to do a hot take. We're going to go on record with it. We're going to be held accountable. I'll be told how stupid I am and how many I missed by the end of the season. So Cody looks ready. Cody, give me your hot take, buddy.
So my hot take is going to be, we heard about the 4 to 6 weeks thing on TJ Hockenson. I think after the bye week, when we play Detroit, TJ Hockenson single-handedly wins us that game.
Nice.
TJ Hockenson wins that game for us.
No more drops in the end zone. He's going to catch it this time.
Top that, Rinaldi.
My hot take is pretty simple. Last year we ended up with just short of 1,600 yards in rushing. Is that about right? Anybody, you could correct me on that. I'm gonna put it at 1850 rushing yards from the Minnesota Vikings before the end of the season. 1850.
Who has the best season?
Or more.
1,600 seems like a high number for last year, to be honest with you.
I think it was around 60, just short of 1,600.
And Leonard, last year I called 1,100 yards rushing, and everybody thought I was really crazy.
You were close to that number. That wasn't far off.
Hey, all right, Leonard. You raised your hand, so what you got?
I think Risner, even though we signed him, he is not going to be starting week 1 on our offensive line. He is going to be the backup guard because he will not beat out Ingram or Randall.
So Leonard says that even though we signed Risner, he will not start week 1.
Great.
He did not start the first week last year after we signed him.
Well, yeah, it's
a different scenario, though.
Yeah, different scenario, but I still don't. If we wanted him that bad, we would have signed him in March. End of story.
I feel like that's like a kind of like a him thing, though. Like he kind of plays that hard to get. He's trying to get the most money he can, and eventually he's realizing, like, damn, like I'm gonna have to take if I let this go into the regular season, I'm gonna get half the paycheck. You know, when he could have just signed with us at the beginning of last year, got his full paycheck. Instead, he
gets starting guard money.
You said what?
You get starting guard money.
No, I know, but we don't know if he wanted more. You know.
I just don't think he can run block for a shit. So he's going to get beat out.
Heath's hot take will be that the Vikings will finish top 13 in both yards against and points against. So he thinks the defense will be top 13 or better, yards against or points against.
Who's that?
I'm all for it, Keith. I want him one of the top 10 in either one because I know I'm going to win that $100 bet with Hager, whatever his name is. He just got to be top 10 and 1, baby.
Yeah, I see your comment.
Kevin, what you got?
I think we still got a big move. I mean, it depends on how you think big move, but I don't see us going out there with our wide receiver core intact. I don't like Powell as our number 3. Unless Naylor really comes on and looks like he's going to be something solid, I see us making a move to get a solid third wide receiver.
Did you see Sherfield in OTAs?
Which did he the one that caught that pass from JJ?
Yep,
yeah, I saw Evans get burned.
Drag swags all over the field.
Yeah, that was Caleb Evans, wasn't it?
Yeah, over Caleb Evans.
Yeah,
then he gets burned all the time. Byron Murphy.
Is the one where he's wide open?
No, it wasn't wide open. He toe drag swagged 3 different times during OTAs already.
Okay.
I mean, I hope he comes around, yeah, but that's my hot take.
Excuse me. Dylan, what you got?
Man, you seem tired tonight, Fish.
I got that way.
He's 20 years older than you.
What I know, in probably a different time zone as well.
A couple of them.
Right. I want to go ahead and say that I think week 1 we have 2 rushing touchdowns.
I love that.
Ooh, I like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be from a running back either. But I think they probably will. Running back.
I mean, that's a nice one. I really like that one. My hot take's not really that hot after tonight's call because y'all talked about this quite a bit. 2024 will be Brian Flores' last season as our defensive coordinator.
Dang.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
I feel like we'd have to be a really successful team for that to happen.
He's already entered the accelerating program.
Or he might go DC somewhere else.
Yeah.
He's still got 1 year left on his deal. That means they'd have to let him go.
Does that set our Super Bowl window back?
Might.
My biggest thing on Flores is if we allow him to interview and he gets accepted, we get a 3rd round pick, which we don't have this year.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
We do. We've got a comp pick for Cousins, 3rd round.
I think he's blacklisted. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he'll get a chance again.
Yeah, not until that lawsuit goes away.
I mean, he could for sure kind of be blacklisted. It could take a little longer because, I mean, look at Eric Bieniemy or whatever his damn name is. He still hasn't even got a job.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he got in trouble though, huh?
Bieniemy?
Yeah, I think he got in trouble last year.
I'm not sure.
I could be mistaken.
But why would you take a guy with, the clout, whatever that Flores has, when you can take somebody else that doesn't have that kind of talk?
Or you just pick up a guy that sits under Flores. Who's our special team? Daniels? Put him under there?
Yeah.
Brian Snyder, to answer your question in that comment, I did not say he's going to be a head coach somewhere else. I said this is the last year he's our defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he goes in DC's anywhere else. He would have to leave for a head coaching job.
I don't know.
Or an assistant head coaching job, something like that.
You wouldn't consider him practically an assistant coach right now?
I mean, no.
He doesn't have the title. He's DC.
So
Mike Pettin is the assistant head coach.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, I got you. I feel like that's more of like an age and like seniority, like mentorship type deal.
Yep.
The thing about Flores to me, where I think he falls short sometimes. I mean, you guys watch the interviews as much as anybody else does, right? I mean, you guys watch his interviews. I don't think he's very dynamic in those interviews. Personally, he seems a little sour. I don't know, man. The dude does not. I mean, and does it matter? I don't know. His results are great. I'm just throwing it out there. He does not seem like a dynamic guy. He may be behind the scenes. I don't see it like that when he gets up in the mic and answers questions. And it's part of the fucking job, flipping job. No matter how you look at it, it just is.
And
I mean that.
Baby steps, David. Baby steps.
I'm trying.
If the Wolves still want to pay him to be an elite defensive coordinator and someone else does, they will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if he's not that personable, I feel like I don't know. I feel like some owners are starting to hire more not necessarily younger, but more personable coaches, just with how much talk has came out about like kind of the older coaches having not even necessarily older because Chip Kelly was a dick too, but just like, having those coaches that aren't very relatable to their players. I think you get more from the players when you have, a coach that you want to run through a wall for,
Well, look at a coach that I absolutely can't stand, and that was Pete Carroll.
Right.
That dude was so relatable to his players. He was a cheerleader on the sidelines and all that. I couldn't stand Pete Carroll.
I love Pete Carroll.
Well, I grew up in New England, so what he and Victor Kiam did to the Patriots wasn't a good thing. And then, of course, he goes to USC and kind of does what Harbaugh just did, which is do a whole lot of shady stuff and then bolt before the repercussions come down, So, all right. So that's pretty good. All right. With that, Dylan, Talk about what you want to talk about. Free Skol, baby. Free Skol.
Dang, you put me first on the line?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, and your fucked up haircut.
Man, I haven't even got a haircut in weeks, bro.
I know, I can see it. Shave those fucking sides. Kidding.
I say you wear a hat, bro.
High and tight, baby. High and tight.
It's fucking lined on the sides.
Man, well, I put my order in for a Kyrie Jackson jersey, and I got one of them bad boy like $1 ones. So I'm really hoping he becomes a starter sometime soon, and I don't look like Lincoln with the Lewis Sign jersey on.
Nice. Hey, I don't know if you knew this, Dylan, but Kevin has a Adrian Peterson jersey that he wore last week.
Style beater, yeah.
You said jersey that he wore last week?
Yeah.
Oh, Dylan, you missed it. It was my crowning achievement. When he first started, he was in a really hot room, so he was wearing a tank top.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a comment about him. The role of me in a tank top will be played by Kevin. So he goes off camera for a while, and he comes back and he's wearing his Adrian Peterson jersey. And I just had to stop everything and say, earlier Kevin was wearing a wife beater, and now he's wearing a child beater.
Oh, that's.
We say this every single Thursday.
That's okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, buddy. Kevin, free Skol, baby. What you got?
I'll pass. I'm kind of tired. I can't think.
Leonard? Wait a minute. What kind of frosting did you just lick off your thumb, Leonard?
It's chicken strip, man.
Oh, well,
No
chicken
frosting.
grease is good too, buddy. Chicken grease is good too.
Yeah, it is, especially after having a migraine all fucking day long and not eating anything. No, but
Percy Harvin.
I don't know. It's still early in the off season. A lot to go on. JJ's gonna get signed. That I understand it's talk. It's football talk. There's nothing else really going on other than like OTAs and like practice and things like that. So it's a big topic because he's not there. He's not signed, but he's gonna sign. Yeah, that's really all I got.
When do you get nervous, Leonard, if he doesn't sign by?
If he goes into the year without a contract, I'll be nervous because that tells me that he's probably going to be gone the next year.
Okay.
If he doesn't sign as the season goes, because I see him playing because he's getting $19 million, and he's going to show that, hey, I'm worth $40 million a year to anybody else who wants to sign him or trade for him or whatever. But I mean, I'm not going to get nervous until the season starts because it happens every year. Nick Bosa sat out all for training camp last year, got paid, and played well.
I just want to throw in, I get nervous the moment you get an official report that says he's pissed off.
Yeah.
That's when I get nervous.
That what?
That too.
When you get like an official report that says like Justin Jefferson is like pissed the fuck off, you know, like the official report, not just like, oh, people speculating. Like, no, I want like an Instagram.
When Adam Schefter says they broke off their negotiations, they're too far apart, they couldn't come together, that's when you say, uh-oh.
Or when JJ starts like posting shit on Instagram or
or unfollows the Vikings on all his social media.
Yeah,
that passive aggressive bullshit.
Yeah, that's when I'll get a little nervous.
Shaq, free Skol, buddy. What you got?
You're on mute, brother.
Besides being on mute, Shaq, what else you got? He who greets with smoke.
He's sucking that bottle.
OTAs, I'm just looking forward to, seeing what our team's about to become because, it starts here. If you're a real Vikings fan, you pay attention to the 24/7 of the Minnesota Vikings. So, it starts here. You get to see what's bad and what's good. So by week 6, you'd be like, damn, I remember we was doing this in OTAs and it kind of sucked. And we carried to week 6. Hopefully it doesn't come out that way. Hopefully we build on from now and we get towards that Super Bowl window in 2025, 2026. That's the goal. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Shaq is highly inebriated right now. I'm just going to say
he's throwing the hammer down.
I can see it in Shaq's eyes. Shaq's got the wobble going. He got
He's
that
been
wobble going when he talking. That's what
He's been greeting too many people with that smoke.
he who greets with smoke, baby.
I want to throw out there that this is probably going to be, forget about my point of view about certain things, but this is probably going to be one of the most exciting preseasons to watch this year. Like I never watched the preseason, but this year I'll probably watch that shit. Like I can't tell you the last time I watched preseason. Like
it's amazing what uncertainty does for you, huh, Dylan?
You don't watch preseason, Dylan?
No, not really. I mean, I watch here and there, but man, I go over to my grand's every single day for every single Sunday or game day for 16 weeks. I leave those preseason games alone. I watch, maybe the last one when you get to see like the starting offenses, but
Keith would like you to explain why it's going to be exciting.
Because that first time he throws a pick, I gotta jump on this live. I'm just kidding. Nah, I mean it's just something different, not seeing fucking Sean Mannion or fucking a 5th round rookie quarterback throwing the ball in the preseason, So
you made Shaq fall out the frame. He got his giggle box going.
I'll be excited for you guys,
We're going to see who the starting quarterback is week 1 when we watch preseason. That's what I'm excited for.
Where's the faith? Come on, guys. You guys are Vikings fans. We gotta have some type of faith in our team. Like y'all disappointing me right now.
Hey, if we don't start starters in preseason, we're gonna know who the first string quarterback is week 1, though.
100%. Jaron Hall.
What do you got, Rinaldi?
I think I came to a realization in tonight's live because Cody said something that actually hit home for me. We are one quarterback away from winning more games than anybody expects us at. I have us at 9 games. I'm sticking to my 9 games. But if either one of these guys step up to the plate, you don't flipping know where we're going to end up, man. This could be a 12-13 win season if somebody kind of steps up to the plate just a little bit. This is a good roster. We stay healthy. One of these guys get hot. I'm telling you, man, I don't care how good people think Detroit is or Chicago is or Green Bay is or anybody else in our division. I'm telling you right now, we're a quarterback away. I got us at 9 as well, but I'm just saying we could get a surprise. This could be a 2017 season. This could be.
I mean, you could make the playoffs with 9 wins.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah!
No, I won't get there. I won't. Keith keeps saying I'm going to get above 9. I had to stretch for 9.
I stretched for 7.
Give us a win to beat the Lions.
Once we beat the 49ers, Cody going to say we're going undefeated.
Cody going to be like 15-2.
I was like, who's stopping us? You see that defense? That was turned off the edge. What?
All right.
Well, let me just tell you something, man. I'm going to be right there with them like I told you all.
Brian Flores, he might become a head coach next year. We need to win that.
I'll predict more than 9 wins at 10 wins.
No, I agree with Rinaldi. I haven't been able to decide how many times what we will win because I feel like we have a really tough schedule. But our team is for sure more talented than last year, minus the quarterback position. But we were damn near winning games without that said quarterback, So if our coaching staff can keep it up, like you said, the sky's kind of the limit, depending on whoever is the quarterback. As long as they don't make knucklehead decisions and they can make their basic reads, I mean, shit. And if we can run the fucking football a little bit this year, we could be a pretty good team.
If our coach decides to run the football.
You said run the football.
I've said run the football for the last 3 years.
If our coach decides he wants to run the football, I distinctly recall Cody saying, we just ran for 137 yards, and then we handed off the ball 11 times in the next game.
What the fuck?
What, the flim flam?
Oh, sorry. It's past 9. We're good.
Yeah, or when right before Kirk Cousins got hurt, I was like, why didn't we run the football? Why did we pass the football on 3rd and long? We could have ran the football and kicked the field goal. But no, we decided to pass it and not get a field goal out of it. Now we got a hurt quarterback.
All I'm saying is if we're going to pay JJ $40 million a year, there need to be at least 3 design plays where he's throwing the ball, just so I'll feel a little better about how much he's making. I'll feel a little better about how much he's making if there's at least 3 design plays a game where he's throwing the ball.
Bro, that's
Does he have to have one touchdown pass a year?
Does
he have to have a touchdown pass out of those 2 completions?
I need 2 touchdown passes out of the whole year. 2 for 3 per game with 2 TDs on the year and no INTs. If he has an INT, we got to redo this contract.
Bro, that's the funniest take I've heard.
All right, guys. Well, everybody that's still watching, we appreciate you. And if you would, Mr. Bowden, would you please send us home?
Yeah. Don't do drugs. No.
Okay.
Don't. Hey. Have a safe weekend. I hope you on Memorial Day weekend was a blast. Y'all hang out, had a great time. Stay safe this weekend. We started the weekend off early. I know I don't got a Friday. I have my work off. I'm gonna go golfing tomorrow. Fucking commanding general scramble. Hopefully I don't shoot over 110 like I did last time. Don't beat your dogs. Do not beat your kids. Do not beat your wives. If you got problems with that, look on the internet and figure out the number. Just have a great time and always just let's go and pay JJ.
Let's go and trade that man. Let's go, baby. Have a great night, everybody.
Hey,